it's basically going to be what we have been doing already for the past like hour.
Oh, so I thought you were already recording, bro.
No.
I figured you were already recording. You were just gonna go through and pick out the pieces
No.
you like.
I didn't
delete forever the shit that nobody else can hear.
Right. No, that would be fucked up because if I had been recording from a while back, we would have been a lot of it probably
Implicating ourselves in a lot of shit.
It would not have been made on YouTube, but we have. But now we are. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. If you are clicking on the video, then you know this is another episode of Hardcore Fiction. I'm your host Ronan, and I'm here with my friend today, Thor. Say hello, Thor.
Hey guys, how's it going?
If this is your first time listening to Hardcore Fiction, you know that it's a podcast about, well, whatever the fuck I want to talk about, really. We talk about comic book stuff, we talk about movie stuff, we've talked about aliens, we've talked about nothing. One of the things that we did talk about earlier was you had shown up and I was listening to watching a little video about Frank Dukes. So that might be something you'll have to hear about here for a little bit, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thor's a fellow action movie lover, comic book lover, martial arts enthusiast.
I definitely grew up in it. My dad is a multicolored black belt of some variety in a couple different martial arts. So
Nice.
I grew up learning, watching, seeing, being, living.
If you don't know who Frank Dukes is, Frank Dukes is a guy from back in the 80s who created his own legend. He had a movie made off of his story that was made into a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme called Bloodsport.
Right.
It was, I think, 1989, I think that's when that came out, whatever. Basically, it's a story about a guy who goes into some secret, like, tournament that they hold every 5 years in different parts of the world, and it's like fights to the death.
Like real life fucking Mortal Kombat, basically, kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like an Epstein's Island if he was having fucking fights.
Probably, who knows. But yeah,
Maybe he was having some fucking fights.
Oh shit! But that's who Frank Dukes is. Frank Dukes is a real guy. Well, this is his own like tale. You should look him up. Google him. Frank Dukes. He has a fucking eye patch. Like the dude's. It's crazy. If I tell you, I don't want to take away the story from you to go and look and check this out.
He is an action movie character.
He is an action movie character that he has made himself into. It's really weird. It's another one of those proofs to show you that we're in a fucking simulation. Like you can't make this shit up. This is real life. Real fucking life. But they were comparing him to Steven Seagal, who is actually, all the bullshit we may say, the funny shit we may talk about Steven Seagal, but there are actual like records and proof that this guy, proof that this guy is legit. He's not legit, but he practiced the shit.
He's a legitimate martial artist.
Yeah, he's a martial artist.
Whether he's an effective martial artist is a whole other conversation, but
right.
He lived in Japan. He studied in the fucking heart of his style. I can't remember what he fucking does, but
I think it's like he started with Aikido. I think so. Just like the simple wrist movements and the locking of the joints and twisting.
I'm pretty sure that's the only one he does.
That was his whole thing he got into and introduced to.
He's very specific on that style. And it's a legitimate style. It's, efficacy in a real life situation is somewhat debatable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you know what you're doing, I can see it working. But he's a little bit overinflated in himself.
That's the thing, is he makes it so easy to make fun of him, but it's like, it's one of those things where, like, I want to see. I wish there would have been some evidence of him actually doing that shit, like in a real, one of these guys getting like an actual fight.
I posted a comment about this because I was watching a video myself about Steven Seagal, and that was basically what I said. Is like, I would love to see Steven Seagal in an actual fight, not a demonstration in his art style, which is almost a choreographed motion.
Right.
But how he acts in a real fight against another trained martial artist. Whether that martial artist is in his style or their own style or whatever. I would just like to see him in a real life situation.
Right.
Because he's a big dude. I mean, he's old. He's pretty old now, but he's a big guy. 6'4", 6'5", yeah.
He's not small.
And like we said, he is a legitimate martial artist. I would have loved to have seen that against another serious martial artist in a real tournament situation.
Yeah.
Where somebody's not going to flip for him.
Right. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, get these guys in like an actual like ring, an actual spot.
And
like,
he doesn't get to dictate where your hands are.
Yeah. Because what were you saying? You said you saw a video where he's like,
I'm pretty sure I saw a video where somebody like grabs his gi and he adjusts their hands on his gi.
They don't put up there, put over here. What are you doing?
To where he wants them to be. And it's like, oh yeah, because that happens in a fight so often. You're like, wait, grab me here.
I want you to punch me right here in the face. It just makes me laugh now, like when I see it. It's like, and the guys that he shows, and they like he tries to say like he's helps train these guys. Like all of a sudden they'll show him like with Anderson Silva. Like
oh yeah,
like no, dude. Like
that was the magic that Silva needed.
That
was the chef's kiss.
Yeah, I showed Anderson the front kick. Like you didn't show him the front kick, dude. That guy definitely had seen a front kick before in his life. He's done them before. But he's like, I showed him the front kick, and that's how he won that fight against Belfort. I'm like, no, that's not how it happened. He would have landed that front kick whether he would have talked to you or not that day, man.
That was the kick that the snake needed.
Yeah, that's all I needed, man.
Was the one piece that was missing the whole time.
You said, back to Seagal, though, like he was in the movie with, what was his name? Michael J. White.
Oh, yeah, Michael J. White.
Michael J. White is dope, though. That was another guy we were talking about. But, damn, that guy is...
I think they actually did a couple of movies together.
The only one I can think off the top of my head, I think, is... Exit Wounds?
Yeah, Exit Wounds is one of them, but I believe they did another one together.
They have a sword fight in that movie.
And they fucking hate each other.
Like,
they hate each other hardcore. Michael J. White would love to fight Steven Seagal.
That would be the quickest match
and
ever.
he would not care at all that Seagal is like 80 years old.
Dude,
he would beat fucking shit out of him.
This is hardcore fiction. And let's talk fiction here for a second. Let's talk fiction for just 2 seconds here. The ring set up. It's in the octagon. The crowd's wild. Everything's crazy. Seagal walks up there, and we're talking Seagal.
Seagal in his prime.
No, we're talking Seagal.
We're
talking Seagal now.
Seagal, 80-year-old Seagal.
He kicks his shoes off. Somebody else takes his fucking socks off. He walks into the ring, and he just stands there, and he's doing his usual stance, and he's doing the pray hands thing, whatever. Down the ramp, some good fucking hard Wu-Tang Clan starts playing it, and it's fucking Michael J. White, just oiled up Michael J. looking like a monster, dude, walking down there, fucking shredded up Michael J.
God, that dude is built like a fucking beast.
Mouthpiece already in, son. Walks in there, he does the whole thing, comes there, walks around the ring, does the jump, sits there, the referee does the whole bit, comes in there, he runs up on Seagal. And he just gets bodied by Seagal, dude. Like, he throws the first hit. Before he can even make the move, Seagal comes in and just one judo chop to the side of the fucking dome.
The fucking judo chop and flips him. He's got to flip him.
He hits the judo chop, but as his head goes one way, he catches it with the left, flings it over, kicks his legs out, and he makes Michael J. White do like a cartwheel into the cage. Into the fucking cage. And then he just does with his hand. He kind of does like a hand flip after he flips him, like kind of like, you like bam, like one of those like boom, moves with his hands, like beautiful. And then that's how it happens. What if though? What if?
I honestly think that would be the one and only moment that the entire audience of like a UFC fight went dead silent.
And then he turns...
Nobody would know how to handle that at all.
Seagal turns towards the camera and he does the pray hands one more time. And then he just walks out.
But then, a second later, there would be one dude in the fucking audience that would be like, I fucking told you!
That's fucking right, bro. That's fucking right.
I fucking said it! Seagal, baby!
Oh, there are people out there that stand by it.
Oh yeah, no, there are people that are diehard Seagal supporters. But my mom was hardcore into Steven Seagal in his heyday.
You've seen in fights though, man. Like sometimes a guy who's all shredded up, that doesn't mean that they're gonna fucking win a fight.
It's true. I mean, I
'cause
feel
look
like
at-
they'd win a fight against Steven Seagal, but
Look at fucking Tyson Fury, man.
oh yeah,
Look at Tyson Fury. Tyson
Yeah.
Fury's a big guy. He's tall, but you look at him, he's not shredded.
no,
You would not look at that man and be like, oh, that's an athlete. Like,
no. Sometimes
No, dude.
he's got a bit of a belly on him. I think.
and he doesn't give a fuck.
No,
And
he
don't
doesn't.
give a fuck.
He doesn't.
That motherfucker will throw down. He does not give a shit.
Fucking Kimbo
Oh.
Slice was kind of that way too.
Yeah, when back in the day, Kimbo his shoulders and arms were
huge.
ridiculous. His
But-
traps were fucking
But
man.
he was not all washboard abs and shit.
I wish, and then again we're gonna go into the world of fiction. I wish Kimbo Slice would have been around in like the fucking like 90s, like when Tyson was.
To go up against Tyson?
Yeah, I would have loved to watch those two box.
Oh man, Tyson's a beast.
He is a beast, and I know that would have been a fucking terrible fight. But Kimbo Slice's anger that he had back when he was on the street fights, you know?
Yeah.
Like that ferocity he had, I feel like he would have like a trained Kimbo Slice,
Right.
Like trained that guy,
Right.
that same dude, that same hungry animal, fucking coming at people with all that fucking. I think he was like 280, 290. I don't know how much he was. Maybe
I don't know,
maybe
but he
lighter
was-
than that. But he was
he was
huge.
scary.
Yeah, he was, dude. That guy looked like a fucking
That
train
dude
coming at
that
you.
dude coming at you was fucking
Angry.
scary.
I remember seeing him in fights and getting like one of the guys. He.
You mean like the videos of like his backyard fights?
and he
Those
tells,
were fucking
He tells one
brutal.
guy, he's like, hit me, and the dude hits him, and he fucking throws two fucking straights right to his chin, lands him on his chin. You hear him snap, snap, and Kimbo just like screams, and then just fucking goes nuts on this dude. Now, granted, I would never in my life ever stand there and look at Mike Tyson go, hit me, and be like, no.
No.
I would let him hit me with if I had a vibranium shield, maybe, but you know.
That dude's fucking scary too. I went on a Tyson deep dive in amongst the Seagal stuff. It was a big rabbit hole I went on.
Oh yeah.
In the martial arts fighting community, but quite a bit of it revolved around Mike Tyson, and that dude was fucking scary.
Oh yeah.
On a lot of levels.
No, for sure. They asked him, like, if you can fight anybody in history, who would you fight? And with zero hesitation, he said Achilles.
Yeah.
He's like, I would want to fight Achilles. Hand to hand, fight Achilles. I'm like,
I dig it.
to fight Achilles, hand to hand. Who would you fight? If you can fight anybody in history in a fair one-on-one, hand-to-hand fight.
Fuck. Honestly, I mean, it's fucking cheesy as fuck. Well, I'd want to fight Bruce Lee. I know I'd die, but I'd want to fight Bruce Lee.
Bruce?
I would want to be on the receiving end of that magic. Well, it's like the same thing. This question came up at work during one of our many hypotheticals. Like, if you got paid $1 million, would you fight Mike Tyson? And I said, fuck yes, I would fight Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Not because I have any fucking hope of winning.
No.
I know I'm not gonna win.
It's not about
But
winning.
if I survive, I'm gonna be able to say I fought Mike Tyson.
It's not about winning. You never asked about winning. You said about the money.
Well, yeah, the money's good too. But I also get to say I fought Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like who's gonna pass that up? Really? Like
Nobody.
as long as I get to survive, that's amazing.
With brain damage and needing coloring books for the rest of your life, but yeah.
I would want to fight Bruce Lee for the same fucking reason. Like that would be amazing to get to see that.
Who would I fight? I would probably fight. I don't know. I keep wanting to say other people in my head, but it comes right back down to two people. If I could fight one of the two. One, my number one pick, and this is gonna sound weird. It's gonna be Abe Lincoln.
I knew it was gonna be some off the wall bullshit.
Yeah, it'd be Abe Lincoln. It'd be Abe Lincoln, man.
Straight.
Me and Abe Lincoln in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the fucking woods, in like a fall, like I want to say like fall.
He's
dude.
wearing fucking suspenders.
Everybody's slamming cold Guinness around us, and it's cold. Everybody's like yelling, and fucking out of the crowd, Abe walks in. The only thing you see is hat, and he walks in and he fucking undoes it. They don't realize that in like reality, Abe Lincoln's fists were like fucking Brock Lesnar, just huge and thick. Patrick Swayze.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Fight Patrick Swayze.
Just straight Roadhouse.
Yep, Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze, me and him in a fair like in a fair taekwondo fight, like just throwing kicks, just kicks. That way I could say I got roundhouse by him. That'd be dope. I would do it.
I took a roundhouse from Swayze.
I took a roundhouse from Swayze once. I would just say that out loud randomly.
But I mean, see, that's the same reason I would fight Mike Tyson, because I'd be able to say, yeah, I took a hit from Tyson once.
Took one hit from him.
One that I remember anyway. Oh.
I could not. I don't know. I would. Yeah.
No, I saw an interview with him where they're talking about, I guess his daughter died.
Oh man.
And the dude's talking to him about that and how he dealt with it, and he says that he basically went on a fucking drug trip and just escaped it.
As one would, yeah.
But then he looks at this dude and he's like, "You need to go now."
Oh, yeah.
Like, you understand that, right? Like, you need to go. And you can just see in his eyes that there's a fucking psycho in there that's ready to tear you apart.
I remember that because he's like
and
holding
he's
his...
barely got it by the fucking collar. You need to get the fuck out of here.
He's holding his breath. I remember that. Like, Tyson like takes a deep breath and he's holding it and he's like, "You gotta go." Like
you need to go.
Yeah, he's literally holding his that
was
back.
and that's what he unleashed every time he got into the ring. Like, that was a scary dude.
Oh yeah.
I've got a lot of respect for Tyson, man.
Tyson did some shit, man.
He had some demons and he overcame them. He seems like a much more mellow dude now. And he helps train other guys.
I've seen some of his training videos of him just like keeping up, just doing his own thing in the gym, and it's like it's movements that are ridiculous to try to imitate. You just can't move the way that guy moved around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. And you see some guys that they get the same style. It's like, no, side by side, it's still not the same.
It may be the same style, but it's not executed the same way.
No, that just came so natural to him. That movement, that body.
Well, I like that he brings up Achilles, because that's kind of what he is. Like,
yeah.
Achilles. I mean, if you take the mythology out of it, the part God part of it, and all that stuff. Yeah. Achilles is just the idea of one of those people, they're just born different.
One of the few, yeah.
Bruce Lee's another example. Like, you can't imitate them. They're one of a kind. Once a generation kind of a thing. And I feel like Tyson is a living example of that. Like, he was just different. Mm-hmm. He was usually smaller than the guys that he fought, and he would just take dudes apart.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger dudes, more experienced dudes.
That way he throws a hook is just so unique to
it's
his
iconic
own thing. Yeah, oh for sure. And it's so close to the body. And like I've been boxing since I was 14, 15. I've been practicing on my own. I've had very minimal showings in my own from like actual teachers and stuff. Everything I do is just like my own practice, my repetitions. Anything I do and imitate, it's always beginner. Even as much as I think I might know and I keep progressing forward, I always drop back down and I go to beginner again. Because it's just, I feel like if you need to go further, those fundamentals are always the most important
boxing
thing.
Is great for that. Boxing is what I started with.
Oh, yeah,
my dad boxed in high school,
mm-hmm.
So that was one of the first things he started me with for that reason. The fundamentals of boxing are an amazing framework for anything you want to go to from that point forward. Even Bruce Lee studied boxing. Bruce Lee studied Muhammad Ali. Would watch videos of Muhammad Ali and the way that he moved so that he could incorporate it into the way that he did martial arts.
Yeah, you can see a lot of Ali in the two of the similar ways that they move. The low hands,
mm-hmm.
front and back, a lot of movement of the head.
I feel like they're bouncing a little bit. The
narrowing, you make your target very narrow to you, so if they got to swing, they got to come in this way so you can sidestep and move however you want. A lot of feigning of the punches, too.
He stays very light on his feet.
Oh yeah, on the tips of your feet, like the balls of it. I mean, I'm a 200+ pound guy. Me doing that, like I can still bounce around pretty decently for a big guy. I can move around pretty good, but I find my comfort more in the sliding and the moving around. I keep myself
settling down.
I keep myself lower when I'm going.
You.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Well, I had to change it up when I sparred. When I started sparring, like the last couple of years ago, I had to change that. because we were only hitting in the body, because the place where we were working out at, like, you didn't want to hit each other in the face because you didn't want to bleed, because then if you bleed, then they're like, oh, you guys can't spar no more. So
Gotcha.
yeah, we had to do that. So we mostly did like body shots, a lot of that, a lot of hitting on the shoulders, up on the top of the shoulders, and if we like got to the head, we would like tap the top of the head, you know, like with the top of the glove, like plop, you know,
Gotcha.
get you there. So I'm very light on that.
You're almost like fucking point boxing.
Yeah, and it was kind of weak, but we would just keep the pressure going. But it got to a point where we were throwing like real body shots to each other, because I was like, man, you might as well throw some, like, let's throw some real fucking hooks in there, why not? And that shit was fun. But yeah, I can't remember where I was going with this because I'm fucking pretty stoned. But I think the point I was going to try to make is that, yeah, always going back down to the beginner. Like, that's where I always feel more comfortable. And, like, not that I don't want to progress more, because I feel like my boxing game has changed from even like 4 or 5 years ago to now, because of the different movements I do, the different repetitions.
Well, I mean, honestly, some of that's age too. I feel like
oh yeah.
I don't move the same way I did when I was 20. Like, I've got to tailor the way that I carry myself to the way that I feel now.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and like my fighting stance is still pretty much a boxing stance. I turn sideways. I get, you know.
Yeah.
That's my default.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, for Tyson style too, is it's so you can, those movements you can do. It's not nothing too big and elaborate. You're staying pretty fucking tight into your circle when you're moving around. You know, his hands aren't wide out moving. He's not putting his elbows up too much. It's all kind of in there. He's in like a little shell.
Yeah.
And moves around, and then, you know, gets all crazy on you. The peekaboo stance, you know. And but yeah, and that's like me. I've always tried to keep myself low whenever I did, and like spread back a little bit. Definitely not as relaxed as Seagal.
No.
Another martial artist I really like is Scott Adkins, and I'm happy he's starting to get some steam now.
I'm not sure I know that one.
You ever watch Undisputed? The one with there was a first one that came out. It was a boxing one. It was Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames.
Okay.
They're boxers in like an illegal prison.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't think I've ever seen
it. Well, they
though.
made a continuation of the title. There's Undisputed 2.
The straight to video version.
Yeah. The second one was with, I want to say, Michael J. White. Yeah, Michael J. White, and he goes to a prison in Russia. And
I've seen scenes from that. Yeah, okay. I've seen some of his scenes from that.
The bad guy in that movie is a guy named Yuri Boyka. He's a Russian prisoner.
Okay.
And it's Scott Adkins. He's got a scar on the eye. He's got tattoos all over his body. He's really very, very, very comic book Russian. Like, yeah, he's like, yeah. And he does like these badass like flips, and he's like crazy wild kicks that this guy can do. Like, he does them on his own. Did he
do some of those, like, again, straight to video?
Yeah, he
sequels
was in the last John Wick movie. He was the big guy.
Maybe not Kickboxer. American Ninja. Was he the one that did those?
Just Ninja.
Ninja.
He was in a movie called Ninja.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of then.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes. He also did the stunts for Weapon X 2, or Weapon X2, or whatever the hell they call it. The fucking...
The Origins?
The bad Deadpool, the shitty Deadpool.
Yeah. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, he was that one. All those flip kicks and stuff that he was doing, that was Scott Adkins.
Oh, okay, so he was the one that had the fucking...
Yeah, the face
okay.
stuff. Yeah,
he was Ryan Reynolds' fucking stunt double.
Yeah.
Basically. I kind of feel that way about Ray Park. He was the one that was Darth Maul.
Yeah.
He's actually a pretty cool martial artist.
He's not a bad actor. I think it's his voice that throws people off.
Yeah.
It's because you wouldn't expect... He's got like a little bit more of a higher pitched voice, and I think when you see him, you wouldn't imagine.
You want him to have like a Carl Urban voice.
Yeah, they want him to be all like fucking Jason Statham and shit. Yeah. I think Jason Statham's the only one that gets away with having a higher pitched voice. I think among the tough guy crowd of people, because everybody like to be the badass like dude in the movie, or the badass anything. You're usually like very low toned and gravelly, and you're all like really gruntled and shit.
Well, and like he can go kind of low, but it's not like his normal. Range, I guess.
I don't know. To me, I always hear him like a little bit more higher pitch than everybody else. I think it's just the graveliness to him and the fact that he's British.
Maybe.
Yeah, which I mean that in the highest respects. I mean, a person having a British accent automatically makes it a little bit more you pay a little bit more attention to that.
Puts a little more weight in it.
Well, martial artists that we're going over, I think it'd be weird not to mention. One of the obvious ones that needs to be mentioned of martial artists that are pretty badass is Batman. This is fiction, and we've talked about fictional things that have happened, and a lot of more fact than fictions, and just more or less opinions. Might as well get into that guy. To think that all these like styles that we're talking about, and these like historical like people that are one of a kind kind of thing, is like he's imitated, but there's never quite been that one in a million kind of like characters, you know.
No, Batman is definitely one of those like. I mean, kind of like Superman as well. They're
imitated.
They're imitated. There's similar characters. There's similar characters within their same universes even, but they've almost become American icons.
Yeah, like demigods or gods actually.
Yeah,
they've been referred to as like the Olympian gods before.
Yeah,
because they're looked at as such.
Just like
they've been acknowledged in Marvel movies.
Yeah,
which is really weird.
I feel like Spider-Man is kind of that way for Marvel.
Oh yeah,
you know,
his the skills though, like thing like martial arts and all that. Like, you think it would be possible for a person to like? Is there anybody out there that has done something like that where they've tried to learn like as many martial arts as possible to like put them all underneath their belt to like say that they are a professional in all these other styles besides like MMA fighters? Because even MMA fighters.
Well, MMA has become this thing now where it's like they all take the same bits and pieces from a bunch of different styles.
Yeah, like mixed martial arts is its own style.
Yeah, and it's piecemeal other martial arts. Like they always have a little bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they'll have a little bit of Muay Thai, and they'll have a little bit of kickboxing, and they'll have a little bit of this, and it's always like the same bits to a certain formula, and it's just become mixed martial arts. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, though I miss the days where, like, the UFC was the Gracies doing fucking jiu-jitsu and this guy doing fucking taekwondo, pitting different styles against each other. That, to me, was really cool.
Like when Frank Dukes used to go to the Bloodsport Kumites. Where you at, Frank? What that would be... Again, here we go. Here I go. Keep pulling us back into the fictional world. I would like. What if somebody came up with something like that, like a new thing to watch on, like the dark web or something? Like, watch these guys who have to stay within their wheelhouse of their martial arts and fight these other guys.
Like a broadcast.
Like, let's really see these
underground
guys
fighting.
Like, let's really see these fucking dudes go at it. Because I do miss that. I do miss when I used to see like the old, like really bad quality MMA fights, or they're not even MMA. It was just UFC at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, you would get those guys in there. Like, one dude would come in there straight up in a gi. The other guy's standing there wearing like
boxing shorts,
boxer shorts, and that's it. And then he's like bare knuckles, like, you know. But yeah, they didn't have knuckle. They didn't have anything covering their hands if they didn't want to. Some guys would go in there with their just
some
tape.
guys had like just wraps and shit.
Yep.
I think the Gracies usually fought with nothing on their hands.
Nope. I seen some guys go in there with nothing. One guy went in there with one boxing glove on for style and got his ass beat because he couldn't fucking grab anything. I'm like, I get it. You got a character you're trying to portray, but that's like, don't do that.
Didn't work for you.
Didn't work. So not so much, huh? Not so much. I always wanted to see somebody go in there with the balls to dress up like Ryu.
That would have been great.
Like, man, like all these guys I saw, I was hoping every time we watched it when I was a kid, I'm like, man, I want to see somebody show up there like straight up like Ryu, like torn sleeves, the red bandana.
I watched a video with it was Jason David Frank's fight.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's the Green Ranger, obviously.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bro.
He was a MMA fighter for a minute, and
2-0 or 3? No, 3-0. He was 3-0.
And I was a little disappointed because they even announced him as the fucking Green Ranger. I was really hoping he was gonna come out with at least the helmet on or fucking something, man. Give me the dragon flute. I don't care. Just play it up a little bit. But no, it was just him fucking tatted up.
Oh yeah, dude was fucking covered. Yeah.
And I mean, he won.
He was badass.
He kicked some ass.
He went in there and he fucking, I think he got him in like a choke or he got him in something. Yeah.
He submitted him in something, yeah.
But we all wanted to see him win by like via like
a flying roundhouse.
Everybody who saw that man, God rest him,
With like no roundhouse kick, bro.
We all wanted to see him go in there and just land one. Like, even if I fought him, I would have just been like, just do it, dude. Just fucking go.
I'll take it. Just do it.
Me. That'd be me with a mouthpiece. Just do it. What? Just fucking do it, man. I'm ready to do it. Just fucking one. Just one. Oh, that'd be so funny. Just watch him just like
just a slow motion,
just slow mo
flying roundhouse kick.
It's beautiful. Bam. But yeah, he did win his matches though. That was cool. He did his 3 fights and he was like out. Boom. Undefeated.
I think he owned a dojo too, didn't he? Like
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he owned a dojo.
Because I kept up with him a little bit on social media. I would see some of his posts and stuff, and I watched him. Mostly, like, he would do, like, his signings at Comic-Con and stuff. It was very much tagged to the fact of him being, like, the Green Ranger or the White Ranger, you know, whatever one you want to go for. The Green Ranger was cooler. But, you know, I was always upset there wasn't a Purple Ranger.
Yeah?
Or Orange.
No, there's not an Orange Ranger, is there?
Or Gray. But nobody wants to be the Brown Ranger, so. Brown Ranger, go! Oh man. Yeah. there's so many terrible ways you can go with that. Were there any other Power Ranger actors that got into the MMA fights or anything? Not that I know of.
I don't think I've ever heard of any of them getting into MMA. I want to say some of them did like martial art tournaments.
Okay.
But not MMA. Like for some reason, I want to say the first Red Ranger was like a karate guy.
Well, everything I'm looking at right now is just giving me links to video games and to episodes of the show. Or one takes me to like a 51-second video on Facebook that says a fight between 2 Power Rangers in real life. What more could have been gone wrong? So I think I'm gonna, to not throw myself down the deep black hole, I'm gonna just leave that one alone. Because now I'm gonna be like, oh, there was fights in their real life. Like now I'm just gonna imagine like actual Power Rangers fighting on set with like actual weapons. The sparks flying out and everything. Oh!
What if it's just like 2 guys that go out on the streets in Power Ranger suits, you know? Like in Vegas, there are people that go out in costumes and they take pictures.
That's
and
that's
whatnot.
their thing. Yeah,
that's just like their job, their side hustle. Maybe, I don't know. What if there's just 2 guys out there that are both fucking Power Rangers, and for some reason they got beef and they start fucking fighting?
That's fucking awesome. It's like if somebody commits a crime while you're in the middle of like dressed up as like your favorite superhero. What are you supposed to do? Like you see a guy run. You see a guy. Okay, more specific. You see a guy running who just snatched somebody's purse or stole something from somebody. Like literally the perfect scenario.
And you're like dressed up as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you gotta try to do something, right?
Great power, man. Like it's in the name. Like if I was dressed up as Batman, I feel like that'd be the worst way to try to go approach it. Because I'd make a terrible Batman. So it's like I'm not gonna fucking even attempt to try to chase this guy down. I will, however, throw something at that motherfucker, though. So I guess
I might trip him if he's running by me.
If I see him and I got, like, a batarang on me, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going to fucking throw this batarang at him, bro.
I did see a video a couple weeks ago where some guy basically does do that. Like, I think he's delivering a package or he's delivering a pizza or something.
Yeah.
And these cops, like, chase some dude down in a car, and then I guess he's running back this way, and he just kind of steps out and trips the dude. Yeah, the cops tackle him.
He's still holding the shit in his arms. Yeah, I see it. He just like puts his foot out, just like.
I'm like, you gotta do something, right? Like, you're not just gonna stand there and let it happen.
I mean, do you know why the guy's running from the cops though? We've all watched movies, man. We know that sometimes people can be shitty. Like, what if the dude is literally running for his life, just trying to get away, and there's that one person.
What if these are dirty fucking cops, bro?
And there's just one guy being like, fuck it, poop.
Oh, that sucks. That's a horrible way of thinking about it.
See, that's what comes through my brain when I think of situations like that. It's like, oh no, like, what if I just cost that dude his fucking life?
Like, what if that was some fucking enemy of the state Will Smith action, and you
Oh,
just
no.
fucked Will Smith up, bro? Now he's dead. You just killed Will Smith, you motherfucker.
You have just killed Shia LaBeouf.
Well, my wife hates him.
A lot of people do.
She doesn't even have like a solid reason. She just
Just his face.
His whole fucking existence.
How my sister feels about Benedict Cumberbatch. She's like, I don't like his face. He looks
Benny
like
who Bandersnatch? What?
She's like, he looks like a praying mantis.
He does look like a praying mantis.
I think that's fucking hilarious.
I like him though.
Oh shit, sorry.
I like
Banger dick. Banger dick Cumberbatch.
old Benny Cumberbatch.
Benny Cumberbatch.
I always thought it'd be cool if he was if they was given like a run at Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I think he would have made a good Doctor.
Yeah. My biggest problem with the Doctor Strange movies is that they didn't let him just use his normal accent. Like, just use your British accent, man. Like, I never imagined Doctor Strange as an American guy for some reason. I always imagined him having an accent anyways. So when I seen him in the movie and he had like an American accent, it threw me off.
Yeah, I don't know if I really gave it that much thought before the movies. Doctor Strange was never really one of the characters that I was really that into as a kid.
No.
And honestly, a lot of that has to do with cartoons, because I didn't really read comics. I watched, like, my Spider-Man is the animated Spider-Man. My Batman is the animated Batman.
Yeah. We had comic books. We had a few of them.
I would pick up a comic every now and then, but I've never really been a comic book guy.
Fantastic Four was my favorite stuff for Marvel. Fantastic Four, Daredevil.
A lot of the characters that I'm into are characters that I saw in the shows, and I didn't really see Doctor Strange pop up much.
No, not much. He was on there maybe once or twice. He was on the X-Men, and I think it was just an appearance.
I think he might have been on Spider-Man once.
Yeah, I think he was, because I remember like him having really dark lines around everything because of the animation style. Like how they never quite explained why Venom, when you see him from one angle it's red and on the other angle it's blue.
Oh yeah.
Like how and there's a costume you can get on the video game that does that.
Oh yeah.
It's the black suit that does that. It gives that effect on the side, the red and the blue effect.
Man, I fucking love Venom.
Venom's cool.
Venom is probably my favorite, like, Spider-Man villain.
The symbiote thing is what I like a lot.
Yeah.
That whole
That's
idea.
I don't really give a shit about Eddie Brock. I like Venom.
Yeah, the idea of the whole symbiote existence within like the suit of the body and all that, like that to me, I fucking really like. I mean, I'm really down with that. That's the whole when we play Theosma, that's pretty much one of the big things I like to give is like you notice that's kind of a repeating pattern, like of the idea of being able to summon your weapon.
Right. Yeah.
End. Like I think that's just a fucking awesome idea. So. Like, that's why I love Green Lantern so much, too. I think Green Lantern is so fucking cool because of that.
Yeah, Green Lantern's pretty cool.
My DC things I used to follow when I would read comics or when me and my brother would go to the store and we'd buy a couple comics here and there. And if I chose anything from DC, it was usually either Justice League because it had everybody in it.
Yeah.
Which fair. I liked, so you just kind of had people there. Or I would shoot for a Batman comic. Usually. Or a Green Lantern.
I think... Of all the comics that I got, it was usually either a Batman situation. I was also really big into Nightwing, so anything that had Nightwing in it.
Nice.
And if it was Marvel, it would either be X-Men or Spider-Man.
If it was Marvel, it was X-Men, Fantastic Four, or if I could pick up like a solo X-Men comic character, if I could find like a cool Cable comic, or if there was like a sweet looking cover of a cool little mini story or a part of a story of like a Gambit. Or, one time I picked up one of Storm's solo comics that she had for a minute, and I picked up a couple of those here and there, and those are pretty fun. I like those, just because it gives you a little bit of a closer look at this single character on their own.
Yeah.
So I would never, oddly enough, I never got one of Colossus. I never could find one of him.
No,
Colossus.
I love Colossus.
He's my favorite.
There was, when I was a kid, when we were kids, you probably played it, I imagine. There was an arcade X-Men game. Like just straight side scroller.
Children of the Atom?
I don't remember the name of it. I just know that I would go to the fucking pizza place, and that was one of the games, and I played it all the fucking time.
Does Colossus do the...
But one of the characters is Colossus, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is straight up classic joystick side scroller.
Oh, that's my
video
shit,
game.
man. I love me some side.
But I always fucking chose Colossus.
Love me
Colossus
some
was
side
my dude.
man. Beat 'em ups are my shit.
Well, like when I was a kid, one of my idols was fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like I wanted to be a bodybuilder back then when I was just a little guy.
That's what got me liking beans.
Colossus was this ideal like big bodybuilder dude, but he was fucking solid metal.
Oh yeah,
like that was awesome.
Yeah, he was one of my dudes I looked up to as well because Conan.
Yeah,
like I've said it before on some other of my streams, and I've said it on other podcasts I've done that were based around just Conan the character itself. But yeah, that was before anything, man. Before Batman, before RoboCop, before any other superhero I can even think to scrape off in the back of my brain. The root one of all of them is Conan.
I grew up watching the Conan cartoon. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Watched a lot of it.
But yeah, I grew up watching that cartoon. I played Conan all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up watching the movies, the fucking Arnie movies. That was some of my earliest Arnold Schwarzenegger was Conan, and I loved Conan.
Oddly enough, I watched the second one before I watched the first one. So when I watched the first one, that blew my fucking mind. My spirit left my body when I watched that movie.
Like the second one's not bad, but I would not want to watch that one first.
Oh, I loved it. I still love it. It's my kind of like when I think in my head like adventures and quests, like that shit right there. That's the spirit.
Like I love them both, but I feel like the first one is definitely the better of the two.
That's what I look at the second one as. Like the second one had no significance to Conan except for that he was there. Like this is just some shit I did on.
Did you ever watch
Call the Conqueror?
Well, yeah, that one too. we can talk about that. I love Kevin Sorbo, man.
Kevin Sorbo was a shit, man.
I love him as an actor, I should say. Like I've seen some stuff of him in his personal life, and I don't think we agree on anything. But as an actor,
I like him.
I loved him as Hercules.
I liked him as Hercules.
I loved him as Cole the Conqueror.
Cole was good.
I like him in Andromeda.
Never seen Andromeda.
I just like him. I
like him in Meet the Spartans
though. I haven't watched them yet, but I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna get really high and give them a try. There's a series of movies called Mythica, and he's a repeating character in that series, and it looks dog shit terrible. But I'm gonna watch it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway.
That's fucking great.
But no, what I was gonna ask is if you'd ever seen Red Sonja.
I have seen Red Sonja.
Arnie's in that one, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, they wanted him to be in that movie as Conan.
Yes.
And that wasn't going to happen, so they just made him a character that looks pretty much exactly like Conan.
It was basically like smart mouth talking Conan.
They essentially tricked him into doing that.
Which it is Conan.
So
like if you watch it with that same understanding of the character.
I love all those like 80s fucking
those are great.
High fantasy quest movies.
But if you watch that movie with that in mind of who Conan is, he would totally give like a bullshit name.
Well, that was the thing with Cole the Conqueror too. That was actually supposed to be a Conan movie.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let him use Conan, so they just used Cole, which is another character created by
the same guy.
The same guy. Just Cole's one of Conan's ancestors, I believe.
I think that's how they turned it into, because originally I think they were supposed to be one and the same, but then they ended up scrapping it to one side or the other. I can't really remember off the top of my head right now.
But yeah, so since they wouldn't let him use Conan, they were just like, fine, Cole the Conqueror.
No, I did look up to Arnold a lot too when I was a kid. He was the action hero. He was the badass good guy that you wanted to see. And I remember my brother.
He was the bad guy you wanted to win just because it was fucking Arnie.
Oh yeah, if he ever was a bad guy.
I voted for the Terminator.
Oh, in the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, yeah. Fuck yeah, he's awesome. Like I did not look at that movie ever, and I was like, oh, he's the bad guy. Like, no, it was just he's in here. he's a character. And I knew he didn't die.
He's just trying to do his job.
Well,
it's a movie about how you screwed up him trying to do his job.
Right. I knew he didn't die.
Now he's gonna get fired
because I saw the second one. That's growing up with both of them. I'm like, well, he's gonna be in the second one, so he's not dead. Like he's still alive. He's fine. That's all. But then I remember watching the second one.
We would when we were kids, we would play Terminator, but we would always be the fucking Terminator. Nobody wanted to be fucking Sarah Connor or Kyle Reese or John Connor. No, you wanted to be fucking Terminator. Man.
But I remember watching the second one and then being like freaking the fuck out when he dies because he does the whole spoiler alert. Anybody bull fucking I don't give a fuck about spoilers, but yeah. Anyhow, the fucking thing like him coming down with a thumb thing dying. I remember just being like no, like just losing my shit as a kid. I was like, oh man, that's bullshit.
No, that. So I kind of had a similar experience with Chuck Norris. I loved Chuck Norris as a child.
Okay.
He was like my absolute favorite action star, like martial artist action star.
Right.
This is before I'd even found Bruce Lee. Then my dad introduced me to Bruce Lee, and I fucking loved Bruce Lee. So I watched all of Bruce Lee's stuff. Bruce Lee was awesome. But I still loved Chuck Norris. Then I got to the movie where Chuck Norris is in the movie.
Return of the Dragon?
So, no, I can't.
I think it's called. I can't remember.
But Bruce Lee killed Chuck Norris. Spoiler alert. Sorry,
Whatever.
Fuck off.
I always use that as a segue to insult the listener. Like, what the fuck? Like, fuck off.
But yeah, so they have a fight, which is awesome. Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris.
Oh, yeah,
I definitely appreciate the fight. But small mini me is just watching like my OG idol and my new idol battling each other, and he kills Chuck Norris, and I just remember running to my dad, and I was bawling my eyes out because Chuck Norris died.
The Way of the Dragon, 1972.
And I did not know how I felt about that.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I didn't believe it was Chuck Norris because he didn't have the mustache.
No, he's clean shaven in that.
Yeah, he's clean. He's got the chops.
Yeah,
he's got
the big hair.
He's got the big hair and the big mutton chops and the hairy ass back.
Oh yeah.
And,
oh yeah.
But I remember watching that and being like, dude, because I thought that for a minute that movie was my favorite Bruce Lee movie for a while.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Because I watched that one before I watched Enter the Dragon. My first Bruce.
Enter the Dragon was actually the last one I watched.
Of his?
His, yeah.
The last one I watched of his was Big Boss.
Okay.
That one I think that's one I've watched the last, and that is also the one I've watched the least.
That one's actually one of my favorites of his. I like his more like smaller,
because the Big Boss was a bit
China production movies.
That one I want to say was a bit more gritty than the other ones was. That one had like nudity and they were drinking in that one, and there's people getting like killed in that
dismembered
one.
and shit. Yeah,
like,
no, it's a brutal movie.
Because if you,
they cut people up in ice blocks and shit. Yeah.
If you watch Enter the Dragon, that's a little bit more your traditional action movie. Even the guy says, "Man, you write out of a comic book." Like it feels like.
Well, I think that was
book,
that was the American production.
Yeah.
The rest of them, a lot of them are Chinese movies that have just been dubbed into English.
The Chinese Connection.
That's also one of my favorites.
Is also known as the Fist of Fury. That one is my favorite.
Yeah.
That's one where he fights all the dudes.
Yeah.
By himself, takes out that whole room, busts out the nunchucks versus katana in that movie. Like it's so fucking great.
That's the one where he like sidekicks that dude 20 feet right out the fucking screen.
Yeah. He's like gets fucking pissed and just Joe throws the fucking shuffle, gives him sweet chin music.
Yeah.
Old Chucky Norris is 84, man.
That is probably one of my favorites of his.
That guy, he's 84. I can't believe that, and he's still rocking it. He's still going.
Yep. Loved everything he did. Sidekicks was one of my favorite fucking movies as a kid.
Sidekicks, the one with I can't remember that kid's name. I got Chuck Norris's little thing in front of me. I got his little thing in front of me right now. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the guy that was in there with him. He's a younger. His name was Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah, Brandis.
R.I.P. buddy. Sidekicks was pretty good. I remember I identified a lot with that movie because I lived a lot in La La Land when I was a kid. I would stare off, and I do that even now in my old age.
That was my life essentially.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I wasn't as quite as unpopular as him necessarily.
Yeah. But I
was more of a loner child.
I did that too, though. I did a lot of
imagination.
A lot of imagination by myself. A lot of daydreaming.
Daydreaming, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of daydreaming.
I had asthma, so there was that. There was that to tie us together as well.
For those of you who
I had daydreamed quite often about me and Chuck Norris going on adventures together.
Those of you who haven't watched the movie Sidekicks, it's with Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis. It's the movie that we're talking about. The kid, he like daydreams of himself being in little scenarios with Chuck Norris,
like fantasy action movie scenarios.
Yeah, helping him
or
go
like
and
westerns
and shit. Whatever movies Chuck Norris has been in, he's like imagining himself in the same like as they're like buddy cop partners. Yeah.
They both walk up to the bar and they order milk.
I don't think I ever imagined that with any other actor when I was a kid, except for maybe Arnold. I probably did it a couple times.
Arnie, I think.
Contra. I remember being a little kid and pretending that I was in Contra.
I put myself in video games all the time.
Arnold was the other guy, and I was the other dude with the bandana, and me and Arnold would go fight aliens together sometimes in the backyard. That's what I would pretend when I was a kid sometimes.
Most of my pretend was more characters than anything. And usually, if I was playing pretend, it was like I was them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But if I was just like daydreaming stories, I would put myself with like Chuck Norris or Arnie sometimes.
Yeah.
Or like I'd put myself in Power Rangers or something, you know.
Yeah.
But like if I was playing Conan, I was fucking Conan.
Oh, I was always Conan.
Yeah.
When kids would go in the backyard and they pretend to be Ninja Turtles and shit, like, don't get me wrong, I have a little mantle next to me here of all my Ninja Turtle shit, and I will always Turtles for life, but damn, dude, Conan was always the one I would go to, like, yep.
No, I played a lot of Turtles too. I'm not gonna lie, like we did play.
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah. But Conan was the one I always picked to. If we're playing with swords, I was
like,
always Conan.
I had the fucking I had Conan. This awesome sword, like you know that sword that you had as a kid. That was just,
stick.
No, it's a real sword.
Oh no, I had a stick.
I mean, I've had lots of sticks too, or like you know, fucking cardboard tubes, whatever is sword shaped.
The stick was usually the one I always went to because I had the.
This was like one of those cool novelty swords that only would come out at Halloween, right? But back when the Halloween swords were actually decent swords, and not just flimsy pieces of shit.
Oh, they were the inflated plastic.
Yeah, basically. they were just a solid plastic.
It was like a mold as opposed to an actual like piece. Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it had like a skull on it, and the palm or the hilt came up in like fucking spikes, and I was like, "This is the perfect Conan sword."
Yes. I had a pirate sword that was kind of like that. It had a weird. At least that's what they sold it as, a pirate sword. I remember it when I was a kid. It came with a gold sheath. And the sword came with a sheath, and it would stay in there. Like you had to pull that fucking thing out of there, and it was the inflated plastic. And I remember it was curved, and the hilt on it had like a circle with like a little cross, like looking kind of what am I trying to think of? The knights. What do they call them?
Templar?
Like a Templar looking kind of knight thing. And I remember I used that sword a lot. Nice to pretend to be a samurai in the backyard and like a ninja and stuff. But it was cool because you could be Conan, because Conan trained like a samurai. So you could be a barbarian ninja samurai thing.
Have you played Exiles?
Conan Exiles?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I talk about that shit all the time on the stream, dude. I love that shit. I can't wait to get my fucking online back so I can play that.
Some guys at work got me playing Ark a while back. I don't know if you've ever played Ark. But it's essentially the same concept. Like, it's a survival, like, you have to build up your resources from nothing kind of a game. Which, obviously, you do in Conan Exiles as well.
Oh, yeah.
I had never really played a game like that before Ark. And I was like, oh, well, this is pretty cool. And I got pretty hardcore into it for a little while. I didn't realize Conan Exiles was that kind of a game. But I saw it was free to play if you had whatever fucking tier of PlayStation slavery you have.
Consume.
But I have that tier at the moment, so I was like, oh shit, well I'm going to play this game. And I started playing it. I'm like, this is fucking fantastic.
Did you play the free server mode yet?
I don't know. I've just been in my own little world.
Oh, like, have you become the admin of your server yet on there?
Yeah, like I play in my own server.
But have you set yourself? You can set yourself as an admin, and then you can just give yourself everything.
Oh yeah, I'm trying not to go that route.
See, I always gave myself a decent start. I gave myself like at least a cool weapon.
No, see, I started doing that with Ark, and I lost myself in it, and then I built all these cool houses, and I had everything, and I'm like, I'm bored.
I didn't build anything. I made it just for the character, and then I actually like went on the adventure. That's what I did with it. I played it with my ex.
So you basically gave yourself a normal video game start then. Like you gave yourself a weapon and a basic set of armor.
Yeah, but I use it for like. But when I did that, but I kind of like just a little bit. Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
A little...
I gave myself exactly what I wanted. I gave myself exactly what I wanted, then I set myself off in the world.
You try not to go overboard, but...
No, but I get something cool. I was like, alright, I want a cool looking axe, and I want a cool looking short sword.
That's
and
fair.
I want a decent, like...
Did you make a Sumerian?
Yes, of course.
I actually haven't made a Sumerian yet.
I was a Sumerian. I was very tanned. I made myself as shredded as I possibly could make myself shredded, big as I could possibly make myself big. I gave myself white dreadlocks that I put back into a hard, tight ponytail, and I gave myself, I can't remember if I gave myself a tattoo or not. I gave the skull face paint.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I think my character had skull face paint. I had like a tan or white leather, like sleeveless, like shirt thing, and like these big, awesome like Aladdin pants and like ninja boots.
Well, dude, if you get the tier back, you'll have to let me know.
Oh, yeah.
I'll totally play with you.
I got to see if I still have the character on there. I hope I still have it on there.
I don't see why you wouldn't. You should have the save files regardless.
Oh yeah, I love that character though. I love playing it,
I,
especially when I gave myself no fatigue. Because fuck it, dude, I'm exiled, right? I'm God here. Bow to me.
No, the one that I will do on occasion, and I can't help it. It's just because I'm impatient.
Mm.
Is I'll turn on the fucking the fly mode, and I'll just fucking fly to where I want to go. Because I'm like, it's a lot of desert, bro.
I gotta see if
there's a whole lot of nothing you gotta walk through to get places.
Yeah, I don't know if I deleted it or not, but I might have had it on there still. I can't remember if you have more than one character or not. But I remember I had made a character like a monk, sort of. I gave him clean face, clean hair. I think I even took his eyebrows off, like took everything down. Started him with nothing, but I gave myself I like thumbed through and I wanted a very specific weapon, and I gave him like this really cool katana, and I OP'd the fuck out of my attacks. But I made myself very like base vulnerable, so I gave myself this really super fucking powerful weapon, but like nothing. So I'm like, this is gonna be a neat play. So I went to play that way too. It was one of the ways I played before, but I can't remember if I did that before or after I made the other character I made.
No, I made a Vanir.
Okay.
That's the Viking people.
Nice.
So I started with that because obviously.
Word.
But I want to make a Sumerian too. I just like making characters, man.
That's what I get into as well. I've mentioned it a couple of times before about how like I will sit down and I'll spend a good 2-3 hours just making characters on Soul Calibur.
I just I downloaded I guess it's the remake or something of Saints Row.
Yeah, the re-elected edition.
Yeah,
I got that too.
And I mean, I've read some bad reviews of it, but I never played any of the other games, so I'm like,
it's a great game.
Great for me, whatever.
It's awesome.
But I love the character creation on that. It's pretty.
Yeah,
customizable.
I messed with that before. I played the game as Lobo before,
and I made like a fucking leprechaun, bro. Like it's awesome. Not like a little leprechaun though, like a full-size man leprechaun, but still, it's a leprechaun. Leprechaun enough that I was playing him, and my son goes, "Daddy, are you a leprechaun?" And I was like, "You damn right, I'm a leprechaun."
Bet your ass, son. I think that's the one where you get like the zombie voice too, as one of the voices on there. I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Because
I didn't like. That's the one part I didn't like is that the voice choices were kind of.
Oh, okay.
Not cool. Like there was like 6 choices.
And there's 3 feminine, there's 3 masculine,
there's one British voice. It's a feminine voice. None of the male voices are British.
Really?
Yeah.
I got the one I have there. There's a British voice there for the guy. That's one I use for Lobo.
I don't know.
It's like really like heavy British like.
Wait, are you talking Saints Row 4 re-elected?
Yes.
Okay, I'm talking just straight Saints Row.
Oh, the first one.
But it's not the original first one. It's like the.
Oh, you mean the new?
Yeah, they like re-released, remastered.
Yeah,
something
the new tale of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I'm playing.
I haven't played that one yet.
That's the one I'm playing, and the voice choices on that are not great. There's like one British voice. It's a female voice. You can play with the pitch, but at best you just sound like a chick with a really deep voice.
Right.
So the voice options were not great.
Yeah. No, I haven't played it at all, and I've seen also a lot of really bad reviews about it. But I'm like, I still want to check it out because reviews or not, I'm gonna still see for myself.
Yeah, and I've never played any of the other games, so I'm like, I don't have any bias based on the past games.
Yeah, the games are fun. I enjoyed them all that I played. I didn't like the second one as much because the third one is when it really. That's the first one I played. Was the third one. The third one's wild already. You're like a celebrity. People look at you as like a celebrity.
I know they go kind of off the wall.
It goes off the wall hard on the fourth one too. The fourth one, you become the president of the United States.
Oh jeez.
And then the world gets invaded by aliens. And then they move you into the Matrix. So That's why you get all the crazy. That's why like when we played on my birthday,
Chloe was flying around as a toilet.
Yeah, it's flying around as a toilet, doing all that shit. That's how they explained all the weird shit, is because you're in the simulation. Yeah, which is kind of a genius plan for a video game standpoint, in my opinion. Like, if you're gonna sell it that way.
I mean, in the same argument that you can't disprove God, you also can't disprove that we're in a simulation.
Exactly.
If the simulation is designed to convince us that we're not in a simulation, so we don't think we're in a simulation, but we're in a simulation, you can't prove that we're not in a simulation.
And that's where babies come from, kids.
That's where all mine came from.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Forgot you had that giant...
We can do that.
I forgot you had the stogie.
We can go with one of those if you want.
I'm over here sitting here about to spark up one of my, human-sized joints over here, and Thor still. We have this
half of this massive infused blunt.
Yeah, that we're still working on here.
It's probably slowly killing me.
If you've making it this far along into the podcast episode, thank you very much for sitting here and listening to two guys just rant about.
Everything.
What have we gone over? We've gone over martial arts, we've gone over cartoons, comics, all that good stuff. It's a bit of everything going into this here. If you made it this far, and you might as well hit the subscribe button and hit a like. And tell me what you're wearing down in the comments.
Nothing.
Oh. Just so everybody knows, we're sitting here with 2 piles of Ritz crackers and we're wearing nothing at all. With all the windows drawn. I have one of my subscribers, Cat Dad, shout out to him. He's been keeping up with me a lot. The guy shares a lot of my videos. He gives me a lot of shout outs, and he listens to me at work. He tells me, I'm like, man, I hope we get to that part on one of the times that he's listening into work. We're like, yeah, we're just sitting here with 2 giant piles of Ritz crackers, butt ass naked in front of a microphone. He'd be like,
have some cream cheese. Come and join us.
Be like, what are you looking at? I'm like, what do you listen to? Nothing.
I'm sure you probably heard about it. Did you hear that Toriyama died?
Talk about the
Dragon Ball guy?
Dragon Ball guy? Yes, I did. I saw that, man.
That's fucking
pretty rough for a lot of folks. I know how I felt when Mr. Kevin Conroy passed, man. I can only imagine on all them.
Did you ever get into Dragon Ball?
I was into Dragon Ball, the cartoon here and there. I didn't. I loved it. I love the lore and I love the video games and stuff. But I didn't ever really follow the mangas that close that time.
I hate to say it, but I don't like manga.
Okay, that's fine.
Just because I don't like the fact that there's no color.
Word.
And I'm not a big fan of the comic book style in and of itself. That's why I'm not a big comic guy. Like the panels, like I don't know, it bugs my OCD. I want to know where everything.
Right.
Like I don't want to have to figure this puzzle out.
You don't want them when they do the huge cracks and like cuts where it's like 15 panels in one page. Yeah.
And you're like, wait, which freaking block am I supposed to read first, guys? Come on.
Yep.
So then there's that, and then it's all in black and white, and I'm just like, is there an anime that I can watch? 'Cause a color anime that I can watch.
I did that with Berserk though. Berserk was amazing.
There are mangas that I would read, that I will read. Berserk would probably be one of them. I haven't, but I would. I love the original anime.
Oh, it's great.
When I watched it the first time. I haven't finished the remake that they did, but that one was pretty good too. What I've seen of it.
Due to what controversy may say, and what others may say, besides they can go fuck themselves, is I appreciate all of them. I like it all. I liked the original one. I liked the one they did for Netflix. I liked the
That's what I mean, the Golden Egg or whatever.
Yeah. That one wasn't. That wasn't bad either.
I haven't finished it, but I enjoyed what I saw of it.
If somebody has never watched the original ones and that is their first introduction to Berserk, I'm not mad at it.
No.
I'm not mad at it. Like, if you've never read the mangas, you've never watched the original 15 episodes or whatever. I think it's like 15 or 20 episodes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. I just had them burned on disc for me by a friend of mine, and I watched it.
That's the thing
basically
too.
Start to finish.
The Golden Egg one kind of gives you a little bit more to what's coming. Like at the end, like there's a lot of shit there that's like, oh, like the whole thing with like the Skull Knight and everything. Like they don't show that in the original 15.
Right.
And the Skull Knight is like lo and behold, the Skull Knight became my favorite fucking character besides Guts. Like, I fucking love the Skull Knight. The most gentlemanliest gentleman to ever gentleman in the most metal fucking armor ever. He is so polite, but at the same time, he is like so fucking like, get the fuck out of my way. Like, I will.
You know, Berserk. Yeah. Berserk is definitely one of the ones that's like on my short list of favorite anime.
Oh, yeah, it's dope. Yeah, if you haven't finished the one, I think I downloaded Crunchyroll just to finish that show.
Is it on Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, I have access to Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
I thought it was just on Netflix.
Berserk is on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
They have that whole new series on there. The animation is
because that's why I hadn't finished. I got rid of Netflix and I was like, well, fuck, no, I can't.
The animation looks like PlayStation 4 graphics.
Okay.
But whatever, you're still giving me. You're still giving it to me. I don't give a shit. Like, still getting it. I don't give a fuck. That's where I was. Everybody's like, "Oh, the art style. Why does the art?" Like, I don't give a shit, dude. It's still Berserk, bro. Give it to me.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm definitely I can be kind of a graphics whore.
Yeah.
There's animation styles that I just can't stand, but
there's a few I can't get behind either. If it's too poppy, I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like the cell shading style.
It's a little bit of that in there,
but
it's a lot of that in there actually.
Yeah, man. Dragon Ball was like my first fucking anime. That was the one that introduced me to the fucking art style. Because back then, when I first watched Dragon Ball, Pokemon wasn't a thing yet. Like, that hadn't taken this country by storm.
Yeah.
Anime was not a regular thing that you saw.
Yeah.
I caught it by accident. Like, I woke up crazy early as a very small child, and it just happened to be on TV before my normal Saturday morning cartoon run. And I watched it, and I fucking fell in love with it. I thought it was fucking amazing.
Well,
that was my first introduction to anime, was Dragon Ball.
I want to say the very first, like, because we're talking anime as in, like, you're talking, like, the style of art, or are we talking, like, as in the genre of, like, dark storytelling, gritty, weird, you know,
I'm talking specifically, like, Japanese anime.
Japanese anime, see, that for me, I think this is it. I'm thinking, because this is me reaching really far back. It was a show that came on Saturday mornings on TCT. Total Christian Television. It's a Christian cartoon. It was called Superbook. And these kids find a book in their attic, and it's a Bible, but it's a magical Bible. So when they open it, it sucks them into the stories. And these kids go into these stories, and they learn life lessons by helping the Bible play out these scenarios in these stories.
That sounds horrifying.
Right. There's also another one that's just like it, but it's a little bit more cartoony. It is called The Flying House.
Okay. And another like heavily Christian
yes,
themed one though.
Except Flying House
I
is
have
a time
never
machine.
Seen either of these.
Flying House is a time machine. These
Okay.
kids get in the time machine and they go to different destinations in time, and most of these end up being stuff that has to do with the Bible.
Okay.
They meet Jesus and they help like the Ten Commandments guy, like Moses, and then I said the Ten Commandments guy. It's the Ten Commandments guy.
Oh, that was great. The Ten Commandments guy.
Tell me the weed is good without telling me the weed is good.
Oh man. No, I would say Dragon Ball. If there was an anime that I saw earlier than that, the only thing it could possibly be, and you might not have any idea what I'm talking about, it is a movie. I think there's actually 2 or 3 of them, but at the time I only knew of the one, called Unico.
Cool.
And it is like a very kidsy anime.
Okay.
About like this little unicorn.
Okay.
And the crazy adventures that it goes on.
The only other thing I can think of right now too, because now you got me reaching really far back in my head, really far back. people listening to this are gonna be like, "What the fuck are these guys? They're going through so many different topics."
There's a lot of trains, guys. There's lots of trains.
So many things. So many things.
And we're like action movie stars, just jumping from one train to another.
Oh yeah, a lot like Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude
and Jean-Claude
Van Damme.
Van Dern. Jean-Claude Van Dern. What was I looking up? Oh yeah. And then there's Voltron too. Was another one I remember seeing.
Voltron was probably another one of those like mainstream cartoons.
When we were kids, we didn't realize that was anime.
Yeah, like that was kind of on the fence. Like it was kind of anime, but it was also kind of just like classic 80s TV. Like, you know, that'd be like, it almost feels like saying Thundercats is anime. It's not really.
No.
But Voltron was definitely like on the fence.
Okay, now they have a new Superbook that came out in 2011, and it looks horrifying.
Oh god.
They're weird CGI'd, like
oh no,
not quite.
That's
it's
terrible.
not quite Disney Pixar. It's more like, you know, what the fuck am I looking at?
Disney Pixar.
You know, it's just awfulness. And I'm trying to find. I found the picture of the original Superbook, and it's like a kid. He looks kind of like Digimon art. Looks like the Digimon kid.
Okay, that I mean that definitely has an anime kind of feel to it.
So that was Superbook with the robot, the little Christian robot, who weirdly looks like Adolf Hitler.
Can you find who was the production company behind it?
Right, we're gonna look this up. I'm going to Wikipedia.
I feel like that's kind of
because Wikipedia is a reliable source.
That's kind of the indicator there. Is if it's actually like a Japanese production, or was that an American company that was just kind of copying anime styles?
It's a Tatsunoko Productions.
Oh shit! Okay, so
it might be anime. It says NTV Tokyo made it too, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It might be.
It might be anime.
It could be.
Yeah,
anime.
it could be.
And then it says in Japan it conjures as a Christian broadcasting network, and in the United States.
No, if your cartoons are
Yeah,
made in TV Tokyo,
right.
You might be an anime.
Akiyoshi Sakai is the name of the writer, so I would say it might be anime.
Okay, cool.
Well, that one's
so
still
your introduction to anime was Japanese Christian programming.
Yes.
That's my introduction was unicorns and monkey boys.
What was it called again? Yours?
Unico.
Unico.
I'm pretty sure it's on fucking Tubi.
Okay, Unico anime movie. Oh wow, yeah, okay. Wow, yeah, look that up. UNICO. It is on Tubi, you guys. It's from 1981. It's an hour and 30 minutes. It's just a movie.
I think there's 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of them, yeah, and the series.
Oh, there's a series too. I didn't
think
know
so.
that.
I think there's a series. Unless they're just giving you everything on this fucking thing. Hold on.
I gotta say, man, if you don't know about Tubi, you need to go check out Tubi.
Yeah, this is not
like we are not sponsored.
No, not I. Hey, Tubi, if you want to sponsor a guy who just randomly says wild shit, then by all means, please.
But I cannot speak more highly of anybody. Tubi has shit that I have
Tubi
never been able to
right,
find.
Man. No, they do it right. They do it right. You can
they've got the classic Conan cartoon on there, man.
Yes, they do.
I've been watching that with my kid now too.
Dude, they got a bunch of shit on there that I fucking love. I'm like, what the fuck am I like?
Oh,
it feels like all the shit I wanted to watch when I was a kid that I couldn't watch on regular.
Did
TV.
you ever watch this cartoon? They have it on Tubi. If you didn't, from that same era, about this fucking football team that gets sucked back in time to King Arthur times. And it's like Knights of the Round Table fucking superheroes.
Stop. My dick can only get so hard.
Did you ever watch this shit?
No.
It is on fucking Tubi. I used to watch this as a kid. I was telling my wife about this, trying to find somebody who knew what this cartoon was.
What is it called?
I can't remember the fucking name right now. But it's on Tubi. Like, he's got the sword on his shield and he pulls it out of his fucking shield.
All Football Go-Go?
No.
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice?
Yes, that might be it. Okay. Yep, that's what I got too. Yes, that is it.
Okay, King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Bro, I used to watch that as a kid, and I told my wife about it because we were talking about like cartoons from that era. She was very into the Pirates of Darkwater or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about it. I was like, "Did you ever watch this show?" And she had never seen it. And I've never been able to find anybody really who knows what the hell I'm talking about when I talk about this show. And I was just kind of browsing through Tubi because they have weird shit. Again, people, if you don't use Tubi, go check them out. Like, I have found so many things that I have been looking for fucking years. I have found on Tubi, and I came across this show.
Did you ever watch Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys?
Yes, that was another one, bro.
Yes. Powerful fist bump over the microphone.
I loved that fucking show as a kid, man.
All right, I'm happy that you've seen it because they have that also.
They do.
They have it on Tubi.
I've had my kid watch a couple of those episodes.
But dude, fuck, that show was fucking dope. That was
everything I wanted in a show. Like, all of it.
It's fantasy. It's comedy. There's a little bit of drama in there from time to time.
There's even some sexual tension.
There's action. It's got a little bit of everything. I'm like, why did this show sink to the bottom of the abyss? Like,
I loved that show so much.
It was Guardians of the Galaxy before we had Guardians of the Galaxy, man.
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, if they made a movie of that right now, it would blow the fuck up.
That actually brings me back to anime. There was one other anime that I watched as a kid, Pokemon. I don't know if it was before Dragon Ball or not, but Crunchyroll has that one too, and I've got my kid watching that one. Legendary Pizza Cats, motherfucker.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Yes, yes. That show was kind of dirty.
It is a little dirty.
It's a little dirty.
It can be.
Some of the kids talking about slapping salamis, and then
it has some comments. Yeah. It does more than I noticed when I was a kid, for sure.
Nobody eats pizza like you. Like. He's like slowly licking the end of the. Yeah, it's weird.
They say some stuff.
They say and do some weird shit, and I guess apparently a lot of that stuff just got lost in translation. They said, but it's like no, it's.
But see, that's actually one of the things I loved about cartoons when I was a kid, man. Like, there were jokes in cartoons meant for the parents, and meant to go over the heads of the kids watching the shows.
I was also a fan of Johnny Quest.
I never really watched Johnny Quest as a kid.
I'm not talking about the old one, like the old classic. I'm talking like the one that came out in like the 90s. I want to say 94.
I know which one you're talking. I didn't watch that one.
It's where they kind of started involving a little bit more, like, it was a little bit more updated.
And a little more topical.
Yeah, there was tech. They were going to like the virtual reality world and like.
Yeah,
it was
I didn't
cool.
really. I remember when that came out, but I didn't really watch that one much.
Johnny had tech in that one.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the ones they had, it was like one of the most boss-ass moves I've ever seen anybody do in a cartoon at the time. They have these little, like, robotic inhibitors, or, like, not inhibitors, but amplifiers or something, and they put them in his Converse. And he puts them on his feet, and they make him run faster.
Okay.
Because that makes all the sense in the world,
sure,
right?
Yeah, why not?
Just because something's in your shoe makes you run faster, you know? I can't remember what it was.
It gave him lift.
Right, but he does something with his watch, and they're in a car chase, and they fly up on the fucking, like, they're on the runway behind this car, and they bring the plane down, and the back of the hatch opens up, and Johnny Quest goes running out the back of it. And it just looks so fucking dope. I remember watching that in the cartoon. It was just this, like, one shot, and I'm like, what? And my brother's like, why is he running so quick? I'm like, I don't know. I think that's just how they're drawing it. And then, like, we see him, and he's like jumping over cars and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I remember that being one of the coolest moments. I'm like, dude, this is new Johnny Quest is the shit.
I've got one. I think we've talked about it before, because I'm pretty sure you've seen it. But this is another one that not a lot of people remember. Biker Mice from Mars.
Yes.
I loved that fucking show,
remember
bro.
Biker Mice from Mars.
Like, that was right around the same time as the Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was super into the fucking the Turtles.
Sharks.
Yep.
We can't forget about the Street Sharks, man.
Also on Tubi, motherfuckers, go watch that shit.
Street Sharks?
Yeah, Street Sharks is on Tubi.
Oh shit.
There's another one.
Do they have the Tick on Tubi?
I think so.
If they have the Tick on Tubi,
I believe they do.
I'm gonna watch all of that.
I believe they do. Did you watch the one? It's very similar to Street Sharks, but it was dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tubi has that one. I used to watch the shit out of that too.
There was another show I used to watch as a kid. There were like these government, agents that all had powers, and they were from different parts of the world. And the one guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he was an indigenous guy, and he had a mohawk, and he had tattoos, I think, on his face, and his power
on his cheeks.
Yeah, and his power was he could turn metal.
Oh, this sounds really familiar.
Yes, I gotta remember what it was. And the girl had a power. Her eyes would turn purple, I think, or white, and she would be able to like talk to people with her mind and like be able to make people see things.
Oh shit! This sounds really fucking familiar.
Yeah. I remember watching maybe 3 or 4 episodes of it. The art style was kind of similar to that of like Men in Black, the Men in Black cartoon, also on Tubi.
That was a good one too.
Which is another really good fucking show.
I watched that one as well. Yeah.
Nay, do I say that's why I'm probably a big fan of the movies, was because of the cartoon. Because the cartoon was like, I want to see more of this on the cartoons.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the cartoons.
But yeah, they were like government agents or something. They all wore like these black jumpsuits. They all look like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a huge thing all over the cartoons and the movies and stuff.
Yeah, this sounds very familiar, but I don't know what the hell it is. It's one of those things where, like, I didn't know that I knew it until you started talking. You're unlocking my childhood, bro. Did you watch Captain Planet?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anyone has them either, but I would love to see fucking Captain Planet.
Captain Planet was pretty dope. I know at some points you can find little clips and stuff here and there of like enough of the because I haven't been able to find it anywhere. Oh no, wait a minute. That was one of the ones I was looking for and I found was the RoboCop cartoon.
Oh.
Did you ever watch any of the RoboCop cartoons?
I might have caught one every now and then, but I was never like...
It wasn't too bad. On one of the episodes, the dude like gets these really like crazy, just off the world, godlike powers for nano. He has like little nano machines on his body, so he's doing like all these really wild things, like he takes over an entire building with his body and like can like put out fires and shit. Like it's weird. It goes really crazy, but it's like it all turns in on its face. Like almost every story ends tragically in the RoboCop cartoon. And it just makes me laugh because it's like still that like they were feeding that shit to kids, man. Like we were little kids growing up watching fucking RoboCop.
Yeah, no, our cartoons were different, bro.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, that's why I'm not a big fan of most modern cartoons, like that are actually meant for kids.
I get behind some of them.
I feel like a lot of them don't have any substance.
Yeah, there's really nothing much going on. That's why all the
like
cartoons
there was usually
a
moral to every story in cartoons when I was a kid. Like there was a purpose to the story. It was trying to teach you something while you were being entertained.
Right.
If you thought to look for it.
Till next time, kids.
Till
next time, friends. I think is what he would say.
And like I said, it was they touched on some serious shit, and they didn't make a big deal out of it. It was just there, and they expected you to handle it. And they, like I said, they had jokes in there for adults that they knew the kids weren't gonna get, but the parents were, and I appreciate that. I fucking appreciate it. Especially when I go back and I watch that shit now, and I see shit that I completely don't remember because as a kid it wasn't relevant. I didn't get it then, so it was in one ear out the other.
Right.
But now I hear it and I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. How did I miss that? And then I remind myself, oh, because I was fucking 5.
Yeah. You didn't know what was going on with Lumiere and the fucking dusting thing, little duster. You're like, oh, what is he trying? Oh, he's just chasing her around. Like, no, Lumiere was trying to be like, what's up? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's stuff that we don't get until we're adults. And we're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I think one of the last ones I saw that really sent messages out pretty strong was a show called Young Justice.
I have not watched the last season, I think.
It's on Max. It's pretty good.
It is. I just haven't gotten around to it. But
episodes are like 21 minutes or so.
I have watched a lot of Young Justice, and it is a very good show. I've enjoyed that one a lot.
It grows with the characters, and I appreciate that on that show too.
And I like that version of a lot of those characters.
Oh yes, that is in my brain. That is those are their those are their definitions. They're actual like in my brain.
It's not Aqualad, is it? What is
yes.
Is it Aqualad? Okay.
Yeah, because that's the same one I'm thinking of
too.
That
version of him is so fucking fantastic.
I want 5 seasons and 3 movies of that guy.
Yeah,
I do.
I love. Like, he is my favorite part of that fucking show.
He's great. He's stoic. He's most of the time he's pretty right. Yeah. A lot of the shit he does. And I also like him because he's like, don't want to do it this way, but this is what we got to do to get it done. Like,
yeah,
he is out there fighting for justice, and as cheesy as it is, it's like he is that character. He's a superhero. He's being that superhero. Sometimes it doesn't look pretty. Sometimes it does not look pretty. I'm not going to spoil anything, but sometimes his shit that he does not look good, but he still gets it done, and that's what I liked about his character a lot. And I love Connor Kent.
Yeah.
Connor Kent is the shit. That is my favorite version of Superboy. I don't care if people can suck Superboy's Prime's dick till the sun comes home tomorrow. I don't care. Everybody's like, oh, that Superboy's the best, or the one that does this, or the one that's got this attitude, blah, blah. Like, why do you like that one? Well, that one can't fly. He doesn't have laser beams. I think he has kind of a little bit of super speed, but not too much. He's got a fucking attitude problem, and he's got an anger issue. I love that version of him because he's all those things, but he's still almost as strong as Superman.
Yeah.
And that's like, holy shit.
And more or less invulnerable.
And he can't age.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna always look like I'm in my 20s. Like, this is just what I'm stuck at 'cause I'm a clone. It's like, damn, dude, that sucks. Yeah, I like when his whole arc was really great too, because you see how he's like this angry character, and then he slowly, progressively starts to suppress all that and kind of push it down and get rid of everything, and he ends up being like this, almost not cool and calm, not as calm, but he ends up being a little bit more focused, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he ends up meeting some characters on there that really test that shit for him on there, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I watched that show.
Oh, it's great, man. Where they left off so far was great. Did you get to where like they start seeing Vandal Savage and stuff?
I think so.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's just the last season I haven't watched.
Okay.
Like the one that came out a while after.
Like the most recent one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. That one's still awesome. I watched all that one too.
But I kind of want to just start over from the beginning and watch it all again.
It'd be worth the watch. Honestly, I'm right here talking about it too. It would be worth the watch. If you haven't seen it yourselves, check it out on Max. If you have Max, they're about 21 minutes an episode. I think they have 4 seasons, I believe it is. It's not bad. It's a good solo story. It's a good watch, and honestly,
it's just a solid cartoon, man.
Yeah,
like
it's one of those what we were just saying. Like it has
like
a
it's
message.
like the classic animated Batman series. It's just, there's a solid.
There's messages there too. It's not
it's
just,
a solid story.
Yeah.
It's not Teen Titans was good, but it was campy. It was goofy.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
This is a more serious story.
And I do think it'd be okay to watch it with kids.
Yeah.
Something to sit there and be like, hey, look, you want to watch Batman? Like, yeah, well, here, watch this version of Batman. I want to watch this Robin. Oh, like, I guess you're sick of fucking, what was that, Go Teen Titans? Like, here, let's watch this version of Go Teen Titans.
Yeah, no, we're not watching that.
Here, let's watch this version of Robin instead. And, yeah, he grows from that one as well. He goes from the Robin to the Nightwing in that one.
I love Nightwing.
Nightwing's awesome.
Nightwing has always been one of my favorites.
It took me a minute to figure out who's my favorite, and I think I'm still on the fence about a lot of them. Because for a while...
Like your favorite Robin?
Yeah. Who my favorite Robin is. Because I do have... Everybody has a favorite Robin. Everybody who's ever seen all of the different ones and compared them all by each other enough, you grow a favorite. And I always bounce between like 3.
So, my favorite Robin is probably either still Dick Grayson or Damian. But the reason I like Damian as Robin has nothing to do with it being Robin. I just like Damian because he's such a fucking dickhead.
I like Damian because he is all of the arrogance that Bruce Wayne would have. If you would imagine somebody like him would have. That's what Damian has.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, he's probably a fucking pretentious. Like all the negative shit people say about Batman, I think that is what Damian is. Yeah. Like that is that vessel.
Yeah, and it's fantastic, and I love it.
Well,
so that's why he's probably my favorite Robin, if not Grayson.
Do you know how his story kind of comes to an end in one of the storylines?
No, I do not.
He becomes Batman at some point.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Like he takes over?
He takes over Batman mantle.
Does Bruce die or does Bruce retire?
Bruce dies.
Okay.
The world's like all Mad Max and fucked.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the world's fucking destroying itself. It's all turned in. He sells his soul to the devil.
Oh goddamn.
For immortality. So he's just gonna roam the world for the rest of his life, which will be until the end of time. And
as Batman.
As Batman. Pound's chest.
Goddamn.
Yeah, he goes balls out, dude. That's fucking awesome. Yeah,
it's metal as fuck.
Metal as fuck. Oh, and he's wearing like the trench coat with the fucking gloves, and he's got like a crazy bat across like the little like Sherlock Holmes like coat thing going on.
What I will say,
Oh yeah, he's crazy looking.
the one thing I always appreciated about DC more than anything was its villains. Like, that was my favorite supervillains are DC supervillains.
Oh, for sure.
The Joker primarily being my absolute favorite of the DC supervillains.
Right. What do you mean the Heath Ledger Joker specifically?
Well, of course, like, if you're going to talk about the Joker, you have to acknowledge that Heath Ledger is the greatest live-action Joker to have ever played the role. So far. That's not to say somebody else can't be good, but as of right now, I mean, he kind of takes it.
I've asked that question to so many people, and I get so many different answers, and then I get so many different upset answers as well. It always makes me laugh. No, my favorite DC villain is always going to be Darkseid.
Okay.
Darkseid's my favorite.
The Joker, Lex, are probably some of my favorite DC villains.
Darkseid, I do like me. Reverse Flash.
I like Brainiac.
Brainiac is cool. Brainiac is
yeah.
But I think that might be why I might say he's up there with my favorites too. Because Brainiac's a fucking asshole.
He
dude.
is. That's
Brainiac's a dick. And every iteration I've ever seen of Brainiac, whether it be on the animated shit, in comics, and video games, and the TV series that they made, the Krypton one, which is really good, also on Tubi.
Yeah, I haven't finished that one because I lost access to whatever the fuck it was on when it was on.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched some of it, but I didn't get to watch all of it. And then I saw it come on Tubi, and I was like, "Fuck yes, I can finally watch it."
Yeah, it's dope, dude. It is good. That Krypton show is dope. But yeah, Brainiac's a fucking dick.
Oh no, he's always a dick. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a super dick.
Ra's al Ghul used to be up there for me as well.
It depends on the version for me, like whether I dig.
He used to be when I was a kid. I thought Ra's al Ghul was the shit, but then I got weirded out when I got older. So I realized that he's just being like, "Hey man, just fuck my daughter, bro. You're so cool, man. You have to fuck my daughter. You have to fuck my daughter. I don't care what happens to Gotham, as long as you're in that room, just banging away on my daughter, and giving me some grandkids. I need that badass. I need those genes.
I need the bat babies.
I need them bat babies now. The most annoying, like that mom that's always asking when you're gonna have some kids. That's fucking Ra's al Ghul.
He's like, you hitting it?
And my daughter, look. She doesn't want to wear that. I make her wear that outfit for you. You came here for this. Go. I'm leaving. Go. No, I think Bane, but I don't like to call him a villain because I don't think Bane's a villain. I think Bane's fallen more into the gray line now.
I like Bane. I dig Bane. Again, Bane kind of depends on the version.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like on paper, Bane. That's kind of how he is right now. Like that's what he is.
Like, I feel like he wasn't quite as cool as he could have been on the animated series.
Which one?
The original animated series.
The original one? No, he was more.
They made him a little, yeah,
a little too bloodthirsty for my liking.
They made him very simple.
Yes. Yeah, and then every iteration after that, they seem to kind of fall into the same category of just tough man,
yeah,
I'm all strength, no tactics kind of thing. But I have a lot, very, very talky. As long as they make him talk, as long as he talks a lot, they're like it's okay.
Right.
That's not who he is, though. I think they lean a lot on the whole luchador aspect of it. That seems like the actions of a wrestler,
right,
beat you up while I'm talking shit kind of thing. But he's more than that.
Yeah,
he's basically, and I know a lot of people say that a lot. This person's just the bad version of Batman. Like they say, the Joker's really just the evil version of Batman, or Deathstroke is that, or whatever. Or this person's that,
right.
Or whatever. But I think, truly, honestly, I think Bane would be the best iteration of the opposite evil side of Batman. Because he doesn't use a lot of guns. He's used guns before in other things I've seen him do. He just clear a room out or something like that. I've seen him use a big machine gun in one of the comics I had from him. Or a weapon of some kind. But most of the time it's just he's throwing down with the mitts, man.
Honestly, I think every Batman villain is essentially a window into an aspect of Batman.
Yeah.
Bane would be just that rage.
Ferocity, yeah.
The Joker is his pain. That That's the trauma. That's what could have happened in that moment when he watched his parents die. Like, he could have gone fucking Joker psycho.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all of that. That's his trauma. The Penguin is kind of his greed and excess. That's the life he was born into, personified in its most negative, the ugliest side of it. Yeah.
Two-Face would be him having to play in the light and in the darkness constantly, having to choose between the two. Scarecrow, the fear he puts into people, how the world sees him, like who he is on the inside, the character, the mask.
Yep.
Because, if you see the ugly side of it, Oswald is the ugly face. That's the Bruce Wayne. That's the fat calf.
The fat cat, yeah.
Yeah, the fat calf that's there. And then if you bring it all over to Mr. Freeze, that's what he feels like now, I believe. Like, it's the oldest version. That's I would say probably the oldest of all his villains as far as the age goes. I think if you look at all their profiles, I think Mr. Freeze is the oldest one.
Yeah.
And he is the most collected, and he's cold. Pun intended. But, I mean, that's... Like, he is. Like,
and he's the one that is willing to... Like, he
shuts himself off from everything else.
He would have been perfectly fine being a normal guy all of his life.
Mm-hmm.
But he is willing to be whatever he needs to be to achieve his goal. Which, for the most part was trying to revive his wife. But,
but he's holding on to that past so tightly. He's got a cold grip on it. And he's carrying it with him that far, and he's gonna eventually die doing that. And I think that's another part of that. Batman's gonna, because years and years from now, when they're still writing Batman comics, like, it's gonna make sense eventually to be like, okay, all these people are getting introduced, these new characters, these different iterations of Robins, or these new Robins, and these sidekicks to the sidekicks, all these things. Eventually, they're gonna have to put Batman away. Bruce Wayne is going to have to pass in the stories, like how Alan Scott was the Green Lantern,
Yeah.
But now, anytime you hear of Alan Scott, he's a person from the past.
I don't know, man. I feel like Batman, Superman.
No, I'm not saying that Batman. I'm saying like Bruce Wayne.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. The Bruce Wayne, the Clark Kent side of it.
Yeah.
I feel like to a certain degree, they're gonna just keep telling that story over and over and over again. Like, they'll also, as they've already done, they've made, like you said, Damian Wayne becomes Batman. There are stories where Batman does shuffle off and somebody else takes the mantle.
Oh, for sure.
And that might become the mainstream, kind of like they're doing with Spider-Man in the fucking video games. Like, the next however many games, Miles Morales is going to take the spotlight and Peter Parker's, over and done with.
Yeah.
And in the comics, I guess they've done that as well. Peter Parker is mostly just
an informer, kind of like,
yeah.
He's a summon.
He's either retired or he's dead. I can't remember. But Miles Morales is basically
if you get enough
Spider-Man.
If you get enough hit points, you can use him.
But I think even when those stories have taken their natural progression into new characters, they're still going to keep telling fucking Bruce Wayne's story over and over and over again.
You know why? Because money, motherfucker. Give me that money, motherfucker.
That's why I'm like, Heath Ledger is the best Joker so far.
Yeah.
But fucking 100 years from now, when the part's been played 50 million times in different movies, who's to say who the greatest Joker is anymore?
Ever has been, ever will be.
I mean, fuck. In my 30 years, there's been 5-6 different Batmans.
Yeah. That's just in our lifetime.
That's just in the 36 years I've been alive.
And and honestly, Vern, that's not even really all the Batman there's been. If you really want to break down and be one of them guys and be like, look at all the voice actors as well.
Yeah.
Because all them guys count as being Batman as well.
And the animated voices.
Yeah.
Because Conroy didn't always do the animated voice either.
No, so I mean, even now, I'm like, I just booted up DC Universe a couple days ago. Or with one of the guys I follow there.
That's one I occasionally download again. I'll make characters for a while and play it for a little bit.
We gotta jam one of these nights on that, man. That shit's
and
fucking dope.
And then I fucking delete it again.
Oh no, we gotta jam one of these nights. It's fun to play that. I have.
Oh, that one's free to play, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll have to download it.
Yeah, I got
I'll
characters in
download it
there.
when I get home.
I got villains on there. I got a lot of. I got some high
I
quality
have
villains.
some super cheesy fucking characters on there, man.
I took that as opportunity to do some fantasy writing when I did that. So
I love making characters,
it's
man.
great for that.
It brings
It
me
is,
back
man.
to that. Like, I'm a writer. That is my art form. I can't draw for shit. I like
Right.
to sometimes, but it's never really that good. I like to write. That's my medium.
I love doing that shit too. And I've been
And
trying to do more of it.
that's why I like character creation, is because then
Mhm.
I can actually visually realize some of those ideas.
Yes.
Which, I'll say this: there's a lot of different opinions on AI right now coming out. I have different opinions on it just within myself. Some are terrifying, some are not so terrifying. But I will say I've used AI a couple of times to come up with fucking pictures, bro.
I've done it. It never came out exactly how I wanted to because I've used all the free shit.
Yeah, so do I.
But I've only done it like maybe
And
2 or 3 times.
I'll agree that it hasn't come out exactly how I wanted it to. Like, there are definitely things that I would have done differently, but just the fact that I can create a picture using words that is even remotely close to what I'm picturing in my head is pretty fucking fantastic. And I know that might piss off a lot of actual artists who are brilliantly talented. I wish I had that skill.
Honestly,
But-
for getting ideas out of your head.
But I can't tell you how many times I've come... Because I also roleplay characters.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll do, like, play-by-post narrative roleplay. And a lot of times you want to find pictures to represent your character that you can put in, like, your character profile or whatever. I can't tell you how many times I've come up with a character and I can't find a picture that works for that character.
Yeah.
And I don't have the ability to draw that character
Right.
in a way that will please me. Like, I could draw the character, but no one else is seeing that drawing of that character.
Right. That's what I love Soul Calibur for, because on that one you can kind of tweak a little bit, but you still only get like a fine little...
Right. There's a certain box you're able
there's a
to
little
create
bowl,
within.
There's a little bowl in there you can't really fuck with.
But so to have a way where I can put my idea into a picture and it doesn't look like something I need to hide away in a box that only I look at on sad occasions, is pretty fucking amazing.
No, I agree. That's one of the things I love doing is just creating characters on there, and I did that on there. I made the characters.
Oh, I've definitely used Soul Calibur for that a couple times.
Oh yeah, a lot. See, DC Universe wasn't too bad for making characters, but again, you are in that tight little small little confined
Right.
area, so you can only make so many certain things. But the things you can accomplish, and if you're willing to push your brain out of it just a little bit more, because me, I'm a little vain. I want to make me in the game.
Right.
That's the main.
Yeah,
goal.
I've seen some of your characters.
Yeah, that's me. And if I can't make me, the step underneath that is going to be a person that is going to look like a weird descendant of me, like, you know.
So I usually go, like, depending on what my options are, really, I guess.
Yeah.
I either go with a version of me,
Mm-hmm.
the ideal version of me,
I never go with the ideal version. I go try to imitate me exactly.
or the version of me that I see in my head, which is very different from reality, and always has been. I don't know what particular flavor of psychoses that is, but yeah.
It's a good one. It's not too bad. It's not bad with chocolate. I recently started to, like, move away and make things that other characters, like, I've thought of already and, like, put them in that world. Like, where would this person fit into this world? And that one became kind of fun for me. I did that with Elden Ring.
I will say one I did, I played recently, and I still go back to it when I'm in the mood. But I downloaded one of the UFC games.
Oh,
I can't remember which one it was, but you can build your own fighter in that, and I basically made myself in that and went on the fucking career mode, like, working my way through the fucking UFC.
I did that before, too.
I spent hours in the character creation, like, making the closest version of the tattoos that I want to eventually get on my body on this fucking character.
Oh, man, I hate that. I look at that and I'm like, man, I wish I could put a tattoo that easily on my body. Just be like, I want it right here. No pain, no
And
nothing. Just
I will say
instantly.
that's one of the things I love about the character creation in that, and it's a feature of character creation that I always appreciate, is when you can sort of manipulate the options they give you to create new things that, you know, they didn't necessarily plan on.
Yeah.
Like, you can take shapes and make things out of them and basically draw your own pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I spent hours doing that and giving this character, like, as close to an idea of the tattoos that I'd eventually like to have. So he's all fucking just tatted up all over the fucking place.
That's awesome.
Fucking big ass, bushy, ginger beard.
I see one guy on there made Bruce Lee.
Oh, he was actually he was a downloadable.
Yeah,
he was like a downloadable character. Yeah,
right? Yeah.
A DLC character.
Because I think they have Bruce Lee on there, and I don't know if they're mods or not, but I've seen the Bruce Lee one. I seen the Muhammad Ali. I seen the Mike Tyson.
Oh, I don't know about those ones.
And yeah, there's
the version that I have. If you have the DLC, there you can play Bruce Lee.
That's fucking sick.
I don't have the DLC,
And
unfortunately.
I heard he makes all the noises and stuff too when he does all the hits.
I mean, honestly, you could just play Tekken. But
yeah, well, if you want to get the Bruce Lee fix, play Tekken. I think it's 5.
And play Law.
Play Law
Or not? Law.
There's a campaign mode. If you play the open campaign mode as Law, it feels like you're just playing a Bruce Lee video game. Because you got this girl with you and you gotta just fight your way through levels. Oh, nice. And it's like a classic beat 'em up style, but like over the shoulder.
I've played that. I've played that version.
Yeah, and if you play it as Law, it's fucking ridiculously fun.
I really liked Jin in that one too.
Jin was fun. Steve Fox is my guy.
Oh yeah. My OG Tekken guy is King.
Eddie Gordo is my OG.
And then
Eddie and King, yeah.
King and then Law were probably my 2 because I was big into Bruce Lee.
It was Eddie and King for me because I thought Capoeira was the coolest fucking thing that I've ever seen in my life.
I did like Eddie. I would Eddie was usually my go-to, like in the actual arcade.
Mm-hmm.
If I was playing and I was just demolishing fools, and then some kid got on there and wanted to fucking play Law and do the backflip over and over and over and over again and kick my ass,
God.
I would switch over to Eddie and I'd be like, all right, you want to play that motherfucking game, bro? Like, we can play this game.
I would do the same thing. I would do the
and I would just
hold back, hit circle.
Fuck them up with the spinny fucking helicopter kick and just keep them fucking in the air until they were done. I'd be like, walk the fuck away, bitch. I can do this all day. I ain't ready. I ain't dealing with your bullshit.
I love fighting games, but the fact is I'm not really good at them because I don't play them as much as I used to anymore.
I used to love fighting games in the arcade. And I'll say, even then, I didn't learn button fucking combination. I hit buttons and I did what I could. That's always been the way I've played fighting games.
Word.
Modern fighting games, the button combinations are ridiculous.
There's too much shit going on.
I am not paying that much attention to any game. I don't care. I don't have that kind of time.
It is literally designed...
If I had that kind of time, I would go to college and get a PhD.
It is literally designed, though, I think, to simulate using the flat controller like on an arcade style. I think that's what it's meant, because you're supposed to... From what I understand, from how my brain's telling me how it works, because you're supposed to like slide your finger across to efficiently make these actions happen sometimes. You're not supposed to like hit. You're supposed to hit it in a slide. Like, yeah, and that's, I think, where a lot of it comes from, is like they want you to like...
I don't know, man. I'm not learning it.
Or like the 2 buttons at the same time.
Like the fact that I went on a fucking run on your birthday and just beat the fuck out of everybody. That I... Never in a million years, bro. I sat down fully expecting to get my ass handed to me right off the bat.
You got it though. You went around the room for a minute.
Because I don't know fucking combinations. I don't try. But I did. I loved Mortal Kombat in the arcade. I loved Street Fighter in the arcade. I loved Tekken in the arcade.
Oh yes.
But I don't really play a lot of fighters nowadays. Like, I have that same Mortal Kombat, but I can't tell you the last time I played it. Well, I can, your birthday.
Yeah,
but before that,
last time I played it. Before I played it, then was like maybe a couple of months before.
Yeah,
I had
way longer than that for me.
I had just downloaded it the night before you guys all got here.
My wife and I got it because we were like, oh, we can play this together, and then I kicked her ass, and it makes her sad, so I stopped playing it.
I don't ever get anybody to play DCU anymore, and I miss playing that. Even though it's kind of repetitive, you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. But I think it's fun to play in that world, especially loving those characters. And if you've watched the animated series, it really feels like you're in that world, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And I always got a good kick out of that. And it was fun to make characters and just kind of another reason to fucking socialize, I figured. That's what I used it for.
Well, I think that was the thing, too, is like if you had someone to play it with, it was
Uh-huh.
a lot more fun to play. If you're playing by yourself, it gets very old very quick.
Yeah.
When I first started playing it, I was playing with a couple of friends of mine. We would play various games online together. Battlefield, whatever.
Mm.
So we would hop on there, but then they got bored with it, so then it was just me, and then I got bored with it, and then none of us were fucking playing it anymore.
Elder Scrolls Online, I took that serious when I played it.
See, that's another one.
I took that very serious when I played it.
I was in the beta for that.
Nice.
I might have been in the alpha. I can't remember. I was in either the alpha or the beta. We bought it for PC, and I bought it immediately for PS4 when it released for PS4.
Nice.
I got like the collector's edition for PS4.
Nice.
I've got multiple characters now. I love the character creation for that one.
Character creation in that one is what I wanted every Elder Scrolls game to have, and it better have it that in depth.
Oh god, I would love it. Yeah.
It better.
When I did the beta, that's essentially what I did with the beta because it was a limited beta. You could only play it for so many days.
Yeah. So
And I worked, so I only got to play it for like maybe 2 days out of the whole fucking beta. So I basically
I got
did
in
it.
there when it was nice and. It was nice and worn in when I got in there.
Yeah. I basically just used it for the character creation. And what I did at the time was I made anthropomorphized versions of my 3 fucking cats. And I made them look like my 3 fucking cats if they were anthropomorphic cat people. And it was fucking fantastic, man.
Nice.
I was like, this character creation is amazing.
That's fucking dope. I did that with Skyrim once. I had made it out of one of my cat I had at the time. She had like the little, what is it called, calico?
Yeah.
Yeah, made her look like that, and it was almost exact. And she was my
I love the
empty-handed
Khajiit,
character.
man. The Khajiit are my shit.
Orcs. I would go with an orc.
I knew you would go with the fucking orcs.
Orcs are fun, man. I like playing with them.
I do like the orcs, especially in the Elder Scrolls. The orcs are cool.
Orc or a Nord?
Orc, I'd say the ones that I do most are probably the Dunmer or the Khajiit. And then if I'm going to go with like more of like a bruiser type character, I'll go with a Nord or an Orc.
I went Breton for life for a long time.
See, I've never really played a Breton.
Breton is just natural resistance to magic. That's the biggest up I got out of it.
Well, in D&D, I love the Drow, so I was naturally drawn to Dark Elves in Elder Scrolls. They're very different, but
yeah, for sure.
For geek me that just wants to play a fucking Dark Elf, I was like, yeah.
Well, I want to. Play as a. I usually make my orcs look like a Oni.
Oh.
Of course.
Sure. Fair.
Of course.
Well, like the first Elder Scrolls I played was Morrowind, and it's a very Dark Elf heavy story, obviously, set in Morrowind. So I made a Dark Elf character for that, because then it, appealed to 2 things. I was more obviously a part of this story that was happening, and I was playing Dark Elf.
Yeah.
But, I'll always make at least one Khajiit character. I've made many in Skyrim. I think that's all I've made.
On Elder Scrolls,
I've made a couple elves.
On Elder Scrolls Online, I was either the orc character, who I played as kind of like I played him almost as almost like a monk.
Okay.
Like a paladin almost. Like I used to make it a thing where I would make it a point in the game, so I would find a place.
I'm surprised you didn't make him like a wandering Ronin.
At the sunrise, he would find the rising of the sun, and I would pray. So I always made my character go, and I would sit there, and I would chill, and I would fucking spark up a joint or something, and just while my dude...
just let your character sit there?
I would just sit there and let him wait until the sun came all the way up. His armor was dope, dude. His armor was dope. His armor had the big Une fangs, and then he had the samurai armor on. Like,
bro,
badass.
I do that shit too.
Oh yeah.
I love that you do that kind of shit. Like when I play Skyrim and like Lydia would fucking die.
Mm-hmm.
I would take the time to move her limbs and put her in like a fucking repose and surround her with the dead bodies of her enemies that she took down going down and like leave her there in this monument to her badassery. But also be like, yeah, bitch, you fucking deserved it. Just fucking mouth on you.
What's the one, the blacksmith lady in Whiterun?
Oh.
She died one night.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
She died with the vampire attacks.
Oh shit, okay.
And that's when I made my character join the Dawn Guard.
Nice.
Is that happened? Because I used to go to her anytime I was in Whiterun. I always went to her. I always sold everything to her. I would go collect shit, and I would bring all my expensive shit to her. That's what I did.
I
with
was
my
a
character.
regular of hers as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I always did that. And then I remember I was approached by the Dawn Guard to join, and I was like, no, like fuck off, like whatever. And then I went to talk to her, and as I'm walking around, I had the mod set. No, I didn't have a mod. This was when I had the Legendary Edition. I'd already been playing on Expert or whatever. Like I made it go as high as I could because I had already fucking whatever.
Right.
All that side should aside. Anyways, they're talking to her, and then I go into my house, and I left, and I had killed a couple vampires already the night before. They were out on the edges where like the giants were and shit. Just ran into a couple, and ran into too many, and I ran into another one just out and about outside of Whiterun, like in little groups. And then I got out of my house one night. I went there, did the whole sleep thing, got up, made my character eat, changed my clothes, did the whole thing, walked out with my one sword. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go walk down and go and sell some of this fucking scrap metal. So put one sword there.
You take your armor off when you're in the city, don't you? And
Damn
you walk...
right. You're damn fucking right I do.
Fuck yeah, you do, bro.
Fuck yeah, so I dropped down to just my, regular, like, light armor or whatever clothes. I decided to make my inside clothing, which is still kind of armor or whatever. So I go outside, it's nighttime. I'm walking across, and I see her coming out of there, and me and her walk towards each other. I was like, oh, sweet. So I'm in character making my guy walk. I'm like, hey, I was just going to come see you, girl. Like, chilling. And then fucking next thing I know, I hear the music start doing, and I look over, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, ice spikes flying at me. Boom, boom, turn over. She turns over. She runs up at him. She's swinging the mace. I'm fighting, dude. Two of them come over, stabbed one, killed, knocked him out, and then I look over, turn the camera around. I see her get the fucking kill animation. Dude's like, the sword up through her, drop her down. I was like, I went, what? And I went, oh, hell no, dude. I pulled out my second katana. So I'm like, dual wheel run at these guys. I use Become Ethereal. That's like my favorite shout of all time. Hit Become Ethereal. They're shooting ice spikes through me. So like running through these ice spikes, I'll animate out, and I fucking cut them both down. And then everybody's surrounding her, like, looking, and I'm like, oh, shit, dude. And then, like...
That's a fucking moment, bro.
Yeah, dude, no, make it even worse. Her husband, animated character, comes out, and comes up there, too, and he's, like, standing over, and his character's just, like, standing there just staring all down at her, and, like, everybody's talking the animation except for him. And I was like, is this supposed to be there, or what? So I left it alone.
That's fucking heavy.
I left, right? And I, on purpose, like, I went into her inventory and I gave her all my medals that I had that I was going to sell to her. I just, like, left them in her inventory on her. I was like, here you go. Like, boom. Turned my dude around. I was like, fuck it. Went back in my place, put on my, what did I have? Had my Nightingale mask, Nightingale gloves, greaves, and an ebony mail.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
That was my armor for the moment. I threw
Nice.
that on there, and I had the ebony blade on my back, and I'm like, I'm about to go fucking...
Kill some fucking vampires.
I guess I gotta go join and kill some vampires. So I went out. I fucking left. I joined the Dawn
You had
Guard.
a fucking Batman moment,
Dude,
bro.
I went out. I joined the Dawn Guard. I fucking took out some vampires, and I like made my whole in my brain story that was going on there. I started wearing the. I took the vampire armor as trophy, so I had the gray vampire armor on. And it looked fucking dope with the fucking gloves and the hat and everything. It just you looked really ninja-esque and looked really sick. I was like, all right, this is my fucking gear now. And then in my head, I made it so that, like, I was wearing like a symbiote. Because I got the ebony mail, but I did the little tweak in the game where if you talk to your companion and you activate your werewolf form, you can go in your inventory and you can arm everything.
Okay.
So I did that. You can do that without fucking up the game file at all. It doesn't count as a mod. It just counts as a glitch within the game. I did that. So I was wearing my ebony mail and the vampire armor at the same time. But in the way I layered it, the vampire armor just went on top. Okay. So I still had the ebony mail underneath, and I had the effects of everything. But I still had the effect of whenever I dropped down to the crouch, it would still engulf me in the thing, or if I saw like trouble coming, it does like the activating of the mist, and then I would always use Become Ethereal, so I'd go invisible and shit. I had a whole story in my brain, dude. It was fucking awesome.
That's fantastic.
I was like this badass like ninja revenging thing. Well,
I did a Khajiit, and through the entire playthrough, never used a fucking weapon.
Nice.
Got the it was after the mods, so I made myself like the pugilist gloves. Essentially, so he had gloves that made the hand to hand a little more relevant. For Skyrim, but yeah, went the whole way. Just and I did like a Khajiit monk, which is what I wish they would fucking put in the game.
They need to put a unique martial arts style in the game.
Did you ever play in Elder Scrolls Online? Did you ever go to the Khajiit areas?
I did, yes, and I seen that they're doing a martial art there.
Yeah, so
It looks like kung fu.
in the game,
like,
yeah, there's like some fucking Shaolin monks in the
Yeah.
Khajiit land. So there needs to be a fucking monk class with some hand-to-hand shit, bro.
Yeah.
I want it. I want it so bad. I also want playable versions of those big ass Khajiit motherfuckers.
Oh, the ones that are like mountable, the ones that for some reason let
no,
you...
not the like the quadrupedal ones. But if you're walking through the Khajiit towns, you'll see them. They're like fucking 8 feet tall tigers, just massive.
Oh, they look like Kintoro, but without the other set of arms.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just huge tigers. It's one of the various versions of Khajiit, but it's never been a playable race. The first time you even see it, as far as I know, is in Elder Scrolls Online.
They need to just make the next one take place there.
I wish they would. It's not going to. We've already
not.
learned it's going to be in fucking Daggerfall or whatever.
Whatever. It should, like, if anything, they should at least make it an accessible part of the game to go play in
Well,
the
deserts. ESO did make Elsewhere part of the playable areas, which was cool. I did play it. I got back into it for a while when they released Elsewhere. Me and a buddy of mine would get on and play it quite a bit, and that was cool getting to see that. But I would still I would love it if Elder Scrolls 6 was Elder Scrolls Elsewhere.
My other character that I played with on Elder Scrolls is a Nord, and that character is the reason why there are werewolves in Skyrim. That's why in my brain
in your story.
Well, because they talk about you when you're doing one of the missions for the werewolf people. They're one of the giant women ghosts or something like that. There's some weird thing you do where you bring together all these people from another land that's getting like pillaged and everything, and you take them to Skyrim for a new home. Like, you guys, you make your home here. This is a new place. This is Skyrim. This is my home, kind of thing. It's part of a Nord mission or whatever. And then one of the ladies tells you, like, yeah, she goes, we'll all make here together. She goes, we'll all be here as one, a band of companions. So it's like sick. Like, they make it so your character does that, but I'm like, sick. So that's badass. But my character is also one of the companions now, but I'm also a werewolf in the game. So it's like,
nice.
This makes sense. But that character, the Nord, that's the one I play as a wandering samurai.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the big brimmed hat that's made out of metal. He's got the dual, like, short wagasashis.
So you're playing Conan.
Yeah.
If Conan focused more on his samurai training.
Yeah, that one. I also base that one more off of me. He's got like the shaved head. He's got the longer beard, like the chin beard. He's got a little going down.
Your chin beard, bro.
It's coming back. I got it slowly coming back, slowly but surely. It is gonna make a comeback along with the mustache here. I'm growing the mustache back in as well.
You majestic genie.
Oh, it'll be back in no time. I'll be making little weird curls in it and shit. I know I was rocking the clean Lex Luthor look for a while there. Yeah, the Wilson Fisk. Oh, one more thing though. Back to the Skyrim bit there. After some time had already passed, and one of the times I made a stop there, because I didn't go back to Whiterun for a while.
Right.
I don't know. I just didn't even realize it until I was like, oh shit, I haven't been back here in like a minute. Like, I haven't been back in a while. And I went there, and I went to go sell some shit to the blacksmith.
I mean, that's some heavy shit, bro.
Yeah.
You get into this shit.
If she dies, he runs the shop.
Yeah.
And when I walked in, he goes, you got a lot of nerve showing your face around here.
Wow.
He tells me that. He goes, you got a lot of nerve showing your face around here.
Wow. Oh, he blames you.
And it's like, what,
she was
dude?
talking to you when you got into the shit.
I was like, dude, what the fuck? I was like, are you kidding me, man?
Wow. That's harsh.
So from that moment on, dude, anytime you go in there to talk to him, he gives you attitude. He will talk some shit the whole time you're in there. And they got to a point one time in the game where I'm like, I want to fucking kill this guy now. Like, I know it's like whatever, it's repeated the same phrases, but I didn't go there so often that every time I went there, it
was kind of jarring.
It kind of felt new every time, and I'm like, all right. It
felt personal.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, dude. Like, one of the last times
he still wasn't letting it go. Like, come on, bro.
Like, me in-game character, Stone me, maybe a little bit of psilocybin me is leaving the shop, and he says some more shit as I'm leaving. I'm like, I'm standing there, I'm like, all right. I'm looking at the door. I'm like, I could turn around right now, and I can put you right back with your wife, bro.
I can reunite you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I can take you right where you need to be. That game, though, that character I made was my favorite all time. Honestly, might be one of my favorite characters I've ever made. Was that one?
Yeah.
Because I played the way the story played out with that character, with every encounter I had, with every new chapter of the story. to me how I was playing the game out as a person who deep dives into writing and who loves RPGs and stuff like that. Me living in that world and how everything played out for me, that character's path was just very, very much like there's so much poetry to it.
That's why it annoys me when I come across characters, especially on ESO because it's a MMO.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do deep dives into the lore behind the races that I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of my Khajiit are named lore appropriate names.
Right.
To the point that I've created like a Khajiit clan, like
lineage,
and all of my characters are part of that clan.
That's what my character is. My character is
in my head they've got like a fucking caravan, and there's a group of them that are just they hire themselves out as adventurers or whatever.
Yeah.
So it always annoys me when I'm like playing and somebody's like, "Oh, Goku, Neo, Batman, Jesus, 614757774."
No, my orc's name was, what was it? Oh, it's Boar Warrain, or Boar Warhide, I think.
Okay.
Is my
nice
Boar Warhide, and then my I named my Nord after a character that I combination between my usual gamer name and a character that I actually been working on since I was like fucking 12. But I named him Ronin Wolfcloud.
Okay.
Is the name of my Nord, Ronin Wolfcloud.
Nice.
But I made the ESO character, obviously, like I said, based off of me a little bit, because I want him to... This is my Skyrim characters, usually try to make him look like me if I can. But my orc was fun, because on my orc I gave him, like, the tattoos all over the body thing. And I gave him no facial hair at all. And he's got, like, scars on his face, and he looks all, like, worn, like he used to be a really bad soldier and a, like, horrible...
Or he's
like,
just been a fucking pit fighter,
yeah,
fighter.
like, all these terrible things, but he's, like, a man of peace, though. Like, now he, like... His armor is like silver and purple, and like, you know, like,
he's found serenity.
But I get into those games. I do the same thing with DC Universe too, man. I get into it pretty hard.
Oh, ESO, I fucking put the money into it so I could buy like the fucking Khajiit specific house.
Bought the werewolf
for my
bought a couple
for
mounts.
my characters.
Bought a couple mounts too.
I've got a couple mounts.
Ride a wolf and ride a bear. Those weren't free.
I've got one of mine is just it's a big fucking lion.
Yeah, man, I haven't played that in a while. I did some really cool shit with my fucking powers too, because I could make the blood, like the red energy.
Oh
weapons,
yeah. Okay.
Weapons kind of like Swilock. I could do that shit with my Nord, so I love that for him. It's so fucking cool to use. I love that power so much. Because you can build combos with it, man. If you come in, you can fucking light something up and be insane when you come in there.
I can't remember what class I fucking played for my.
You could teleport too with that power. You can I don't know. At least you were able to when I played. You can lightly teleport like from like short distance bursts.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Because you could do that. I remember I would do that.
I think most classes
you
you eventually unlock some power that's basically like a
light
a teleport or a jump of some kind.
The orc, he does like the fire. I think
I want to say I played whichever one was kind of roguish.
Yeah,
it was like a roguish melee.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of his powers was he basically like popped in and out of shadow and just attacked.
Yeah. I did the one with the orc was like I can turn my whole body into like molten lava.
Okay.
And then like my weapons can be like molten.
So it's like the Dragon Knight or something.
Yeah, Dragon Knight, because I can blow fire out my mouth too.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dragon Knights. I love that one for the orc.
Yeah.
I use a shield and scythe.
I am nice. That's awesome. I am very much hoping that the next one introduces some of those things that we all want so badly.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in one of my Facebook groups, because of course I'm in a Skyrim Facebook, an Elder Scrolls Facebook group. Somebody brought up that he hopes that they introduce like the whole settlement thing in Elder Scrolls, because obviously you can do that in like Fallout to a certain degree, and then I guess Starfield also has like a settlement aspect where you actually build like towns and you have people and whatnot. It would kind of be a natural progression from the whole homestead thing they did with Skyrim. But I thought it'd be cool if they actually, like, one of the things I wish they would do is make things more culturally specific. Yeah. Like, it always annoyed me that I would be playing a Khajiit, but if I interacted with a Khajiit, they didn't necessarily treat me as if I was another Khajiit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's like...
Kind of like they'll start you off with the appropriate weapons and armor, but they won't start you off with the appropriate like stats,
Right.
effects of the environment.
So they don't treat you like you're one of them necessarily. They treat you like you're ignorant of all of the
Well, the ones in Skyrim,
ways.
the way they did it in Skyrim was, well, one, you're far away from home if you're a Khajiit. They kind of do treat you that way on that one. Like if you can't go into towns and stuff.
Oh, like the other races kind of treat you shitty. That's true. But I would like it if it was a little bit more. You know,
if they kind of
if like
it out a bit
especially
more.
if like the race themselves treated you as if you're actually part of that race.
Right. Yeah.
But I also thought it'd be cool if like they did the settlement thing. If you were playing a Khajiit, if you could like set up a roving caravan, that'd be kind of cool.
I want to see other ways you can like make money in the game besides like going picking up a weird job. Like you should be able to go to like a person that has a farm and work for a farmer and go like collect their stuff and go sell it to them.
Or like go work at the mill.
Yeah, work at the mill. Like really go for a work at the mill. Or you're working at the bar. You can work at the bar and like be behind the counter and sell drinks for what's her name if so and so. Make it a little interaction in the game. Like if you trade with her enough and you become friendly with her enough, one day she'll be like, "Hey, I'm going on a trip. Can you take this mission of taking care of the bar while I'm gone?
Yeah,
I'll leave you some money."
And that could even build up your cooking skill because usually there's a cooking skill.
You're
in the
cooking,
game,
you're bartering.
Yeah,
Somebody can try to get you for like stiff you for something.
They could make it skill supportive.
And for people that are adventurous and don't want to like, oh, I want a game. That's not the point. I want to like swing my sword. Well, you can make it a thing where some shit breaks out in the bar and you got to handle it. Like, there you go. That'd be the last part of it. Like, oh, here it is. You're doing all this stuff. Like, oh, collecting this, clean up the thing. Like, going washing this plate or making sure the food is being cooked and sell this to this person. Check everybody. Do all this other thing.
I think it'd be cool if they did an Elder Scrolls where your character, like, instead of being necessarily the chosen one of some prophecy again.
Yeah, you're just a person.
Even if you're necessarily not playing an older character, your character is a veteran adventurer who is like retired and just working in the fucking tavern and gets sucked back into an adventure of some kind.
I kind of always thought that would be a neat idea for a game as well, to like start you off with basically like, this is everything. This is you. You're already like, imagine playing. You ever play Ghost of Tsushima?
Yes, I have played.
Okay, well, imagine playing.
I haven't finished it, but
imagine playing Ghost of Tsushima and all your perk trees are already filled up.
Yeah,
everything's already there. But you get no armor, no sword. You got to go find all those things. Like,
right.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Right. It's essentially John Wick. You've already established yourself
that's
as
what
this,
I mean. Like you're already
this
there.
Experienced veteran warrior.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, you're not in that life anymore, and you get sucked back into that life.
Yeah, now you're just surviving it. Like, I think that's an idea for games that isn't really used too much anymore. Like everybody wants to like, oh, I want to build up my build and this and that, like, which is cool. That's fine. But if you give somebody like, this is the whole entire fucking pot, like, here, whatever you want, these are all your tools. You can choose whichever one you want to play with.
Yeah.
You know, I like it that way. I think that'd be kind of neat to do. But I don't know. I think maybe it wouldn't sell enough.
But I am looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6, and I'm hoping for good things from it.
Oh yeah, I mean they mentioned it 4 or 5 years ago now.
Well, they've officially said it's happening in Daggerfall, and it's like the next thing that they're working on now that Starfield's out. I mean, they've been working on it a little bit for years, but now they're focusing on it.
If they're waiting this long to release that game, then that game better not have a single fucking crash. There better not a single DLC that you need to buy to complete the game. That better be a complete game. Here you go. No good. Don't give me no deluxe edition. Don't give me no fucking legendary fucking blah blah blah. No, when you release that game better be just finished.
Elder Scrolls 6. This is it.
Yep. Boom. That is it.
Well, that's not the way that's gonna work.
Yeah.
It seems like all these video game companies are trying to go for a new like subscription based model anyway. So my guess is that Elder Scrolls 6 will probably be the start of that for the Elder Scrolls universe. And Elder Scrolls 6 might initially be Daggerfall, but then it's just going to release essentially DLC for different areas and different games and stories and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And you'll get them if you're subscribed to the Elder Scrolls service.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Assassin's Creed has already said they're planning to do that.
Like, connect it all together kind of thing. You get the
world
now.
Instead of just buying standalone games one after another, it's just kind of like this one It's more of a platform, an Assassin's Creed platform, and they release games onto the platform. And if you're subscribed to the platform, then you can play the games.
Kind of like that Disney Infinity. Remember that thing?
Sort
where,
of.
Here's
Yeah.
this system, but you got to buy these different little toys to play with the different characters in the world.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're gonna do on like most of those video game levels to keep. I mean, that's the thing too, is Bethesda has to make a game that people are gonna be able to play for another, 13 years.
And since everything is essentially digital now, it's easy to just kind of make it a platform, and you release stuff on that. Like, I can see why they're doing it. I think it's.
At the same time, though,
I think it sucks for the consumer.
At the same time, though, I would at this point they could have released the game where it is right now, and people would still be playing it, and they can just release it as they're going, and people would be fine.
Well, now we're seeing issues with the whole digital thing, wherein, Sony has had a bunch of digital contracts get pulled, so all of those movies and games that people bought for their personal ownership through the PlayStation platform have been pulled from their libraries, and they're not getting refunded for them because they never really owned the content because it's digital content. And I feel like if they do a platform where you're buying the games as just new DLC content, then you don't own anything. So if it ever shuts down, you just don't have those games anymore.
Yeah, screw all that.
That being said, though, I really hope we get to a point where they develop some fucking Matrix deep dive fucking VR technology.
I'll be happy with being able to just cross-platform play games. That's enough for me.
Did you ever watch Sword Art Online?
Nah.
That's basically the concept there, is they have like a rig that they put on, and they go into a virtual world where they actually live.
Like Ready Player One?
Yeah, Ready Player One kind of a thing. Except they're basically comatose, and it's all in the virtual world.
That's insane.
I
wouldn't be down for that.
I would. Plug me the fuck in, bro.
I feel like somebody would fuck with me while I was sleeping.
No, I was talking to somebody about it the other day. I was like, that's like my retirement plan. Fucking put me in a bed, hook me up to whatever the fuck you need to hook me up to, plug me into the Matrix, and just leave me the fuck alone. My family wants to visit me, they can plug in and come visit me and fucking...
You never know, that might be what the future holds.
I mean, in certain ways, it's pretty... Like, what if you could do, like, D&D? Like, you could build Theosma, but in a virtual world, and then we could all plug into it and just come be in your fucking world.
I feel crazy. Nothing would be special anymore. Especially if I have control over everything, like, then nothing's special. Doesn't make everything special. Like, no, man, I want the uniqueness of other input, the uniqueness of other touch.
Well, you can take input and make changes.
No, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be coming from me. I feel like it'd be coming from. I feel like it would be coming from me, not from somebody else.
I mean, we design our characters.
That's true. A world that we control. If only it was that easy.
I don't know. Every now and then, I'm just when nobody's around, I'm like, admin menu.
Look around. Go pretend there's a pause button in front of you and see if you can push it. And be like, nothing. Touching all my... Nothing. Alright, well, fine.
Up, down, no?
Somebody hit start and select at the same time, please. But on that note, though, we're going to bring this little session here to an end. I'm sure you've all been enjoying the last little while here.
6 hours of random.
Hasn't been that long, really. It's only been 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
it feels a lot longer when you're high.
Thanks for coming in and listening. And thank you, Thor.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm your host, Ronan.
And this is Thor.
You've been listening to Hardcore Fiction, and we will see you in the next adventure. Later, friends. Thanks for coming over, man. I definitely want to have you here again and do some more of this. Nice. Next time we'll have more of a focus on the topic, so we're not flying up and down. As I'm sitting here thinking, I'm gonna have to go through and cut this motherfucker up like a.
We were all over the place.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it though. We'll be fine. But yes, thank you for
Stoner Ramblings.
Thanks for coming in, man.
This edition of Stoner Ramblings.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back and look to have you back in here again. And maybe one of the other times we do it, we'll have more people at the table, so we can have more voices in and more strange and weird input to put in from a bunch of people smoking weed and talking into a microphone. But yes, you take care of yourselves, people. I'm your host, Ronan. This has been Tea and Stream. Or, not Tea and Stream.
That's going to be on the cutting room floor.
Cutting room floor right there. Okay.
Roll it back.
Roll
Line.
it back. All right. What was it again? All right. Well, thank you for stopping in. Oh, shit.
This is Ronan. Thank you for listening to... what is
Hardcore Fiction. Yep.
Hardcore Fiction.
Yes,
that's what it's called.
Yes.
Hardcore Fiction.
I'm your host, Ronan. This has been Hardcore Fiction. And this is Thor. Say hi or bye. Fuck.
Hi, bye. This
All
is
right,
Thor.
hold
Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.
I think I should probably say I'm your host, Ronan, and then you would say this is Thor or whatever. Then I'll say Hardcore Fiction. Thanks for watching. I think that's how it should work. I think in my brain it sounds like it.
All right, let's give it a go.
All right.